love the chase and the hunt, and I set the pace when I'm running. I always take what I want and I always give it 100. Don't need a bank, no I'm funded. Play the game like it's nothing. I'm always thankful for something. Don't take for granted, stay humble. Now wake up! It's time to look at the enemy. Look in the mirror if he is no friend to me. It's not working out, maybe it's the chemistry. It's time to break up so I can make a better me. Better believe in your mind, cause it's everything. You can mold, shape, find almost anything. All it takes is some time and some clarity to find your identity. It's mind over everything. And when I feel like this, I'm immortal. 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 Don't be scared. Just give me up. Don't be scared. Turning back, I won't stop, I'ma fight until there's nothing left. It's so what? You're gonna be hurting bad, cause I've been to hell and back. You don't wanna make me mad, I stay strong, you will never see me crack. And if you get in my way, you gonna feel the wrath. Gotta say it to my face while he's looking back. Mirror breaks after math, when I hate, I attack.
Welcome in, everybody, to Fantasy Pros. This is the Week 12 live stream. It is me, Joe Pisapia. With me is my boy, Andrew Erickson. He is a highly evolved man of the people, Andrew Erickson. I just want everybody to know that. He might look young, but he is wise beyond his years. And I am telling everybody right now, I am always happy and grateful and thankful to be here with my friend Andrew, talking football with all of you. I'm grateful for all of you. Hopefully you had a wonderful Thanksgiving. I had a turkey-free Thanksgiving because I don't just buy into what the masses tell me to do, Andrew Erickson. I'm off the reservation. It was braised short ribs and a nice ham. How about you? Did you eat the turkey? What'd you eat for Thanksgiving, Erickson?
I only had a little bit of turkey. I agree that,
See?
In most cases, it's probably not. I mean, there are definitely better meat options out there than turkey. So I did have a little bit, but, I'm more of a sides guy, loading up on
There you go.
some green bean casserole, like a vast assortment of different types of potatoes, some that have sugar, some that have salt, all that good stuff. And
Yes.
I'm a big fan of the stuffing too. So very enjoyable last couple of days of eating, really.
That's right. That's what you do. You eat the mac and cheese and the mashed potatoes. You keep doing all that. You're right. It's all about the sides, Erickson. You nailed that. The green bean casserole, no. I don't do green beans either. No. But the turkey, so overrated. You got to thaw the turkey. You got to gut the turkey. It's gross. And what happens? Andrew Erickson comes to your house and he goes, yeah, I had a little turkey. All that work. And all he says is, I had a little turkey. Well, no turkeys today, boys and girls. We have nothing but great, solid takes for you. They're all going to be good. And, of course, our boy Troy running the stream today, as always. A happy Thanksgiving to Troy. And we're going to go and jump in and take your questions. Remember, if you've got questions, we've got answers. Drop them right here in the chat. The only way you can do that is if you're a subscriber to Fantasy Pros. So go out right now if you haven't already. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Click that little bell till it goes ding. Like the stream. Do all those things. Ask a question. Drop a comment or question in the chat. Not only will you possibly get it answered by us, but also you could win a T. Higgins autographed jersey thanks from our good friends at pristineauction.com. Again, T. Higgins jersey can be yours. Remember, drop a question, a comment, subscribe to the Fantasy Pros YouTube channel, the greatest YouTube channel in the history of the universe, I might add. I mean, giving you fantasy football content, giving you fun, short videos, long videos, podcasts. I mean, that might be a Joe Pisapia, Andrew Erickson, Derek Brown cooking show at some point in the works that may or may not be happening, but it's great. And don't forget to click that little bell till it goes ding for notifications. Andrew, are you ready to help the people here who are still hungover from all of the shopping and eating of the week?
Let's do it.
All right, let's go to, oh boy, you had to start with this name, didn't we? I got to get this one right out of the gate. Here we go. Zite the Knight. I believe I'm saying that correctly. Damien Pierce or Patterson in the 1-point PPR. Andrew, I got to tell you, I want zero part of that Washington defense. I am running away from Atlanta running backs. I don't care if they catch balls, don't catch balls. Give me Pierce in this one. What do you think?
I agree. Go with Damien Pierce. Look, Damien Pierce played Washington last week. We saw how horrible that was. Miami's defense has been pretty good against running backs this year, but Washington is the elite run defense. So I think Pierce will have a better day ahead.
Yeah, agreed. Joe MK half PPR. Start Rachaad White over Travis Etienne or AJ Brown. Now, this is an interesting one here. I'd like to get Etienne in my lineup, but AJ Brown has been super inconsistent in terms of fantasy productivity. We could say, we want about target volume and target share and all that good stuff. But Rachaad White has an incredible matchup today. And I know sometimes too big to fail fails anyway. I want to get Rachaad White in my lineup. Does that sound crazy that I want to start those two RBs? What do you think? Let's help Joe out.
I'm not starting a running back over AJ Brown.
Okay, well, are you starting ATN over Rachaad White this week?
Yes.
Okay.
I get that the matchup is great, totally understandable, but we've seen guys.
It's
what
better
happened a
than
couple
great.
of weeks ago? Didn't the Bear? What running back didn't end up firing against the Cleveland Browns? Sometimes this happens where guys, especially what's Rachaad White's role going to be? Yes, Fournette's not playing, but Giovanni Bernard is active. Keyshawn Vaughn is active. When Rachaad White took over the backfield the last time we saw them, they were switching drives, and they switched drives even when Keyshawn Vaughn came in the game. So, if everyone's just projecting Rachaad White to be, he's going to get 25 touches and he's just going to smash, I just think that's very aggressive versus AJ Brown, who is a locked and loaded stud. Wide receiver is going to be definitely more up and down than running backs are, but I won't be able to look at myself in the mirror if I look at him and AJ Brown scores 30 points because I bench him because he's just that good. He has down games and then he scores 30 points. That's how the wide receiver position works. So
that's fair. Unless you're Devontae Adams and you just drop 30 spots all the time. 30, 30, 30, because he's just Devontae. Or Justin Jefferson. Justin Jefferson's pretty good at football too. I got to say, even though I had to watch the Patriots lose on a ridiculous call, which was a ridiculous call, by the way, the Hunter Henry touchdown was obviously a touchdown. I don't know what the hell that explanation was, but I couldn't believe I was getting that explanation so quickly from a guy who's supposed to be the officiating guru guy. And I'm listening to his, how? He broke the plane. In what universe is it a fumble when you hit the ground? Especially after you've already broken the play is over. He had control of the football. Anyway, but Justin Jefferson, pretty good also. I'm telling you what, I'm going to go out on a limb here and say this. Andrew is not wrong. Sure, there's the opportunity where Rachaad White might disappoint us. But man, it's hard to remember a time where a running back against the Cleveland Browns disappointed us. I mean, James Cook didn't even disappoint me last week that we saw him. I mean, I'm starting Rachaad White. Forget Gio Bernard and Keyshawn Vaughn. You could take your Keyshawn Vaughn and you could go take him somewhere else. All right, let's go to Ben Zern, half PPR, need 2 running backs and a flex. Najee, Pacheco, P. Ryan, Lazard, Sutton, Freiermuth. All right, so 2 RBs and a flex. Who are the 2 RBs you want to play? Andrew Erickson, let's go.
Which question, or who is asking this question?
Ben Zern. Ben Zern. I'm leaning towards Pacheco and Najee. That's where I would go for the 2 RBs.
Yeah, I think that's probably smart. I think that, the Rams are missing one of their defensive tackles, I believe, with Ashawn Robinson. So I think that's a big loss. So I know that you look at the Rams defense, you got to shut down the run. But we've seen this when you lose one defensive tackle, especially if they're an integral part, you can see run defenses just crumble. We've seen it with this year when the Buccaneers haven't had Akeem Hicks. Their run defense gets significantly worse. So, I mean, the Chiefs are implied to score 35 points this week or something ridiculous. Pacheco's probably going to be part of it.
Well, you got to imagine the touchdown equity goes up a little bit. You don't have Clyde Edwards-Helaire. You still have Jerick McKinnon kicking around. But you've also got kind of limitations, no Mecole Hardman, no Kadarius Toney. Some of the other gimmicky guys aren't around. And you have to imagine they have a lead. So if you're looking at typically a 15 to 16 carries for somewhere between 85 and 100 yards, there could be a slight uptick and certainly more touchdown equity for Pacheco. Now, the question is, who do we want at the flex spot? We have Lazard, we have Sutton, we have Freiermuth, or P. Ryan you could put in there too.
I'd probably just play Lazard.
I would agree with that. Am I crazy to start Andrews at tight end and flex Freiermuth? That was another Ben question here.
I don't think that's crazy. I mean, Freiermuth has a good matchup this week. He has a 30% target share the last 2 weeks since the team traded away Chase
we talked about that, right?
And I mean, look, tight ends just need to score. That's the biggest thing with most tight ends is they're not going to do a lot necessarily. But as the number one pseudo wide receiver on the or on the Steelers. And, the Steelers, the Colts have been pretty good against fantasy wide receivers. That's going to force targets inside to Freiermuth. So, yeah, I think Freiermuth offers a pretty high floor. And if he scores, then, you're cooking.
All right. Also need to drop someone for a kicker. Is it Sutton? Is he the odd man out there? I would drop Pirine. If you're not playing Pirine this week, then what's Pirine good for?
Yeah, I mean, Piron's just a handcuff, and you assume Mixon will be back next week. So I guess I would just try to drop him at the last second so someone can't use him against you. That's kind of like, I think it's a smart move to make. And
gamesmanship. Andrew Erickson, the game within the game.
Well, I picked him up, and I'm waiting till the last minute to pick up my defense. So
I like this. So this you're going to do. So basically, you're just blocking everybody. So by the way, keep an eye out for Andrew's book on Amazon, The Game Within the Game of Fantasy Football. It drops Christmas Day. So that's a big one there. Let's go do Chris Draceris. Thanks for all your hard work, gents. Bench 2.5 PPR. Godwin, Pittman, Kamara, Debo, and Jacobs. Now, Debo dealing with an injury, so that's kind of where I'm going first. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I mean, Debo, these 49ers players, we know that they're not all going to hit every single week. Like, someone's going to be left out. So
This is true.
If, I'm betting on the guy with the hamstring injury is probably a safe bet, especially after he had the big week last week. So I think that makes a lot of sense that Debo, I mean, among all the 49ers, I think that he's probably my lowest ranked guy. Kittle has a tough matchup this week too. So I think it's really more of an Ayuk McCaffrey week than a Debo and George Kittle week.
All right. And let's see, with that question as well, we needed to bench 2 guys. So we're benching Debo, and who's the other one? Pittman, Kamara, Jacobs, Godwin?
And Kamara, Jacobs. Probably Pittman. I mean, Jacobs is going to play. Like, I'm not worried about him.
Yeah, it's tough to sit Kamara because you just never know at this point. I love the DK and FanDuel pricing on Kamara, where they basically both sites just threw their hands up this week. They're like, he's 7K. You decide if he's good. That's literally what they did.
You do what you want.
You're like, look, he's great sometimes. He's got 3 touchdowns. They all came in one game. You decide. Let's go to Kleiss Peterson. Help me out here. It's a cluster. And then he uses some language here. Start 3, Sutton, DPJ, Sky Moore, DJ Moore, Pickens, Alec Pierce, Mooney, or Nico Collins. All right. If I'm starting 3 from this group, DPJ is definitely one of them. Pickens is one of them. And then honestly, despite the tough matchup, I'm still going to go to the well for DJ Moore. I like the stats that Fitzy put together earlier in this week with Sam Darnold and DJ Moore. What are your thoughts on that? Do you have a different trio?
No, I think that's pretty fine. I mean, you're kind of scraping the bottom of the barrel, like looking at the wide receiver 3 position here. We don't know what Sky Moore's role is going to be, even though he was targeted heavily in the last game, even though he's playing behind Justin Watson. So you just don't know what his ceiling is. Sutton and DJ Moore are pretty close in comparison. Like, you're going to see both of them get a lot of targets. It's just a matter of how good will those targets really end up being, I guess. I mean, if Surtain's on Moore and you have JC Horn on Sutton, those are both just horrible receiver corner matchups. You could see both of them doing pretty much nothing. But I guess we haven't seen Sam Darnold with DJ Moore yet this year, so I like the kind of the leap of faith, based on.
Well, if I'm going to take a leap of faith, I'm going to take the leap of faith in the we have seen it. It was good, so that's nice to have. Horn's a terrific player too. He doesn't get enough credit. Everyone's talking about all these different corners, but Horn doesn't not get enough credit. You're 100% right. Let's go to Tom 23, 824. Which wide receiver to start? Christian Watson or Joshua Palmer or Marquise Brown or Nico Collins or DJ Moore? So I guess we're only starting 1. Watson, Palmer, Brown, Nico, DJ Moore. You want to jump back in the Marquise Brown, Hollywood Brown pool? You want to go with Josh Palmer off the big game? What do you want to do?
Yeah, I mean, I know people are frustrated with Josh Palmer and how he hasn't been consistent, but I mean, the guy had a monster game. There's no Mike Williams. They're playing the Cardinals. They throw the ball more than any other team. What's not to like? I mean, Marquise Brown, I get the allure. I get the allure with Marquise Brown, but dude, how many times are we going to see a guy come back from injury and either get injured again, not play a full allotment of snaps? There's a lot of risk involved with Marquise Brown. With Josh Palmer, it's like he's going to play all the snaps. Justin Herbert's his quarterback. He's not injured. Just play him. I don't know. Sounds like a good plan to me.
Boy, it's the simplicity. Andrew Erickson, just every week. Love it. Dave, need help. Pick 1, full PPR. Travis Etienne versus the Ravens. Connor versus the Chargers. Rashad White versus the Browns. These are, look, the Connor and White matchup theoretically are the best ones. I know Etienne is the best theoretical running back of the 3, so I understand this conundrum here. I'd like to start a couple of these guys, to tell you the truth, Dave. like to start all these guys, but we can only start one, Andrew Erickson. So who to you gets the nod? Who gets the start here?
I'm starting Travis Etienne.
Still ATN. All right, there you go. I'm not. I would go to Connor against the Chargers. I think that's the safest play. If I wanted the big, look, man, if Rachaad White busts out today, fine. Like I will eat that L. That's fine, but I don't see that happening against the Browns. I just don't. David Boydston. Good morning, my FF mentors. There we go. We have a mentorship program here, Andrew. Did you know that? With Mixon out in a PPR league, would you start Rachaad White or Jeffrey Wilson? Jeffrey Wilson Jr. Attention, everyone on the channel. Please start Jeffrey Wilson Jr. this week.
Yeah, there's a reason he's like going to be like 50% roster in DFS lineups this week because he's the best play. So
it ain't wrong.
Yes.
It ain't wrong. And if it's wrong, then I'll be taking a long walk in the rain here at about 4:00 in the afternoon.
You and 50% of everyone else that plays.
I promise if Jeffrey Wilson completely busts out, I will take a picture and post it on social media on Twitter at Joe Pisapia 17 of me walking in the rain sad. Because it's raining in New Jersey today. Then I would be sad with Jeffrey Wilson, then I will cry along with you. All right, let's get to the next one. This is from Laces Out. Hey guys, love the show. Need a flex help. Pittman, P. Ryan, Pickens, Pacheco. Wow, it's a lot of alliteration there. A lot of plosives. Can only start one. So Pittman, P. Ryan, Pickens, Pacheco.
Pacheco for me.
I agree. Marco Morales, C. Patterson, or Samaje Perine in the full PPR?
I would go with Perine here.
I agree. I'm running away from Washington. I don't know what we got beat over the head with this or what, but like, guys, like, are you watching? Like, Washington's front has just been unbelievable, and they got Chase Young back.
Is he playing? I thought he wasn't playing. I thought he wasn't playing.
I thought Young was playing today. Now.
Oh, I thought the notification was that he was out.
I thought he was back. All right, maybe Oh, I'm sorry. You're right. He will not play now. I'm sorry.
I think the expectation was that he was.
Expectation that he was going to, and now he is out with the illness.
Yeah,
so that is no good.
Down with the sickness.
And yes, I know I look like that guy. Yes, I know. Everybody tells me I look like. Does it David Draymond? Is that his name?
I have no idea what any of those guys' names are.
The Disturbed guy.
I know the band.
A couple earrings here and a couple lip rings, and I'm that dude. So there you go. Let's get to, let's see, what do we got here? Rich Johnson, my Sunday go-to guys. Thanks, Rich. Full point PPR, flex Olave, Corey Davis, or Antonio Gibson.
I think Gibson is fine.
I agree. Olave's tempting, but man, it's not a great situation. So I would take Gibson. Gibson's been quietly really solid over the last month.
Good
Yet again, here we are in a second half where Antonio Gibson is good. Amazing. Timothy Clark, who to put in the flex? Corey Davis? Well, no. Is this going to be the Corey Davis day, Erickson?
Yeah, wait, why are we trying to jam in Corey Davis? Like, did I miss something? Did they say he's going to get like 13
Did I get the memo?
I added him back into the rankings because I know he's
trying to read my notes here. Corey Davis. I don't see any Corey Davis stuff here. Garrett Wilson, even Elijah Moore. That's interesting. Michael Carter, super interesting. But Corey Davis, look, Corey Davis will probably 3 touchdowns now today that we made the joke. Corey Davis, Gus Bus, Akers, or Treylon Burks. Who are you going to flex in the full PPR?
Burks.
Agreed. Turning the keys. Sparks producers, good morning. 8-3. Nice. With using your tools and the shows. So if you want to be like Sparks producers and go 8-3, make sure you use our tools at My Playbook. Again, you can manage all your fantasy football lineups in one spot, dominate your leagues. Go to fantasypros.com/myplaybook or go to the App Store, wherever you like your apps, and you download that bad boy, sync your teams, use the tools. It's free to download. It's free to sync up. And then if you upgrade to our premium product at fantasypros.com/offers, you get 6 free months of the premium. If you are right here on the precipice of championships, what are you waiting for? See? Go look at our friend here. 8-3. Amazing. All right. So Sparks producers, thank you for helping us in that read here, Sparks. 8-3 using the tools, 10 team half PPR, starting Mike Evans and need a wide receiver and a flex. Options are Devontae Smith, Sutton, DPJ, Pickens, Antonio Gibson, or Michael Carter.
We start Devontae Smith.
Okay. And the flex.
Antonio
Gibson or Carter?
Gibson.
Agreed. It's close though. Brad Great Show. Full PPR, flex position, Hollywood or Jeff Wilson?
Jeff Wilson.
Yep. My gut says Hollywood. Yeah, you're right. My gut says Hollywood's going to be on a snap count. You're right.
It said he won't be on a snap count.
but Brad wants to talk about his guts.
No, his gut says Hollywood won't be on a snap count.
Oh, his gut says it won't. Reading
It doesn't. I don't care. Like he could play 100%.
You don't care about his gut?
He could play. He could play 200% of the snaps. I'd rather play Jeff Wilson.
What about your gut health? Do you care about that? Do you eat the yogurt? Do you do like the different yogurt? I do. I like the yogurt.
No, I'm not. I don't know.
You're not a yogurt guy?
It's okay.
But you're like a workout guy. I think you'd be all into the Greek yogurts and you're doing all that stuff now. What's your microbiome like?
I don't know.
These are things when you get older, you have to start to do. You have to get the lemon in your water all the time. There's all these things when you get old, you got to do. Giuseppe Leone. Hey guys, two-parter here. Half PPR running back, Dylan or Algier. Yikes. I don't like either of these situations. I guess Dylan.
No, I'm playing Algier. Algier plays more than Dylan.
Against Washington? We just talked about Washington, though.
Okay. But, like, Dylan's going to touch the ball 5 times. Like,
I know.
Well,
the other guy's going to touch it 10 times and run into a wall. So what's the difference?
No, I mean, I would play Algier. I mean, look, the thing, if you want to make the case for these Atlanta running backs is they're facing a mobile quarterback. So that changes the dynamic on how a run defense operates. Like the Saints, for example, like always great against the run. When they play a mobile quarterback, they all of a sudden like can't stop the run. So I would start Algier.
All right. So here's the other one. Pick 2 of these 4. Debo, Palmer, Lazard, Hollywood.
Probably go with Debo and Lazard.
Debo and Lazard. All right. Let's go to Drewski. Michael Pittman, Christian Kirk, or Brandon Ayuk today at wide receiver 2.
I would go with Ayuk.
I would too. I mean, what am I missing here? Ayuk's been tremendous for like 6 weeks here.
I don't know.
Football 11, star 57. I don't know what that's going on there. Let's go. Half PPR flex, Brian Robinson, Cortland Sutton, or Isaiah Pacheco. Need the highest upside.
Pacheco.
I think that's the highest upside too. Cody Schlott, our good friend Cody's back. Morning, fellow fake football GMs. Who do I slide into my last 2 flex spots? Full PPR, Paris Campbell, Pickens, Gus Bus, Drake London. Many thanks. He gives us a medal and a football.
Campbell and Pickens.
There you go. I concur. Crystal Rodriguez, Juju or Hollywood Brown for flex. I'm playing Juju this week.
Juju.
All the Juju. Daniel Keenan. Okay, gurus. Worried about Kamara matchup for San Fran. You should be. But I only have Alec Pierce, Mooney or Marshall, Elijah Moore. Do I stick with Kamara? Yeah, you just stick with Kamara.
Those are all horrible alternatives. Like, I'm sorry. Like,
they're non-starters.
Yeah. Like, I get, like the thing is, guys, like running backs, if you're getting volume, you can overcome matchups. Like, it's really not that hard. I shouldn't say it like that, but it's like, don't overreact to a tough matchup. Like, running backs can overcome them, especially when they're involved as receivers. Like,
that's why Fantasy Pros gives me so much volume here. Like, I host so many shows because I'm thinking eventually he'll be good one of these times. Let's start for tight end, Dulcich or Juwan Johnson. I like Juwan.
I'm going Dulcich.
See, you mean tight end 7, Juwan Johnson? Put some respect on his name.
Is he going to catch a touchdown every single week?
I don't know. Is Greg Dulcich going to? Mm-hmm.
I mean, well, he hasn't really caught any touchdowns, so.
Oh, that's why thank you. I rest my case, Your Honor. There you go. I just went full Joe Pesci.
The process says Dulcich, just like it said Dawson Knox on Thursday.
Don't make me pull receipts. All right, let's go to Derek Bruns. Derek Bruns, risk Jacobs in the PM game or start Higgins in the morning.
So T. Higgins versus Josh Jacobs?
Yep. And Jacobs is not healthy. So
no, I mean, if it's between those two, I would just start Higgins. I think it's close.
Start Higgins in the morning. Malachi Martin. Would you guys start Damian Pierce or Christian Watson? Need to make up for starting Cook. I'm playing Pierce. I'm not playing Watson against the Eagles secondary.
Yeah, no, I'm good.
Sorry. It's been a fun 2 weeks, everybody. I've enjoyed it. The Christian Watson.
Like, he'll probably end up scoring again, but he might only have 1 touchdown. Like, he might put up the Drake London stat line where he puts the 1-1-1.
I'd kill for the Drake London to have a Drake London stat line. Sandeep Takar. I hope you guys had a good Thanksgiving. Pick 2. Hope you had a good one too, Sandeep. Burks, P. Ryan, or Donovan DPN? I think it's DPJ.
Don't know who DPN is. Did practice?
Don't Google it. Don't Google it. I have a bad feeling if you do, they'll take your computer. I'm gonna go with Burks and DPJ because I think that's what he means.
Yep, I agree.
All right. Matt says, good morning. Need one in the full PPR. Cortland Sutton, Josh Palmer, or Paris Campbell. I'm going Palmer. I'm not looking back.
I agree. Josh Palmer.
Catfish OL. Godwin or Keenan Allen? Ooh, this is a tough one.
Keenan Allen.
Why? may I ask?
Well, you're talking about how the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are going to run all over this Cleveland Browns defense. So what does that leave Chris Godwin? Whereas there's no Mike Williams, Keenan Allen was a target monster last week when he was not even fully healthy. So I'll take Keenan Allen.
So yet again, you've fallen into my trap of agreeing with me that Rachaad White is also going to smash today.
He's a good play. I'm not saying he's a bad play, but I mean, I don't think that you should necessarily start him over someone like Travis Etienne, who I think is guaranteed 25 touches.
Ravens D's playing well.
Okay, but Travis Etienne also catches passes. Like,
you're right. You're not wrong. Travis Etienne is definitely the safer play. I will agree with you there. I will recant my earlier
I have
craziness.
Rachaad White, I'm trying to play him this week, but I'm not playing him over guys that are more proven.
I will suppress my love for Rachaad White this week with Travis Etienne over him. I will come back to my senses. I was flying high. I was just so excited to see you after a couple of days off of work. I just figured,
I mean, if you wanted to start Rachaad White over Kamara, okay, I could get behind that, but not Etienne.
Let's go to Madeline's question. Madeline says, "Good morning. I need a flex help, please. After Gabe Davis didn't give me that upside I was hoping for. Full PPR, pick one. Najee, Amari Cooper, Pittman, Wilson, Watson. I think if you're looking at upside, it's got to be Cooper, right?
100%. He's playing at home.
All right. Do it, Madeline. Cooper it up. Roll the dice, full PPR, Sutton or Allen. Allen, right?
Allen.
Roll the dice says, thanks, homies. Exterminator. Half PPR, need one flex from Debo, Antonio Gibson, Michael Carter. Looking for the best floor. Nig says, grazie. Prego.
That would be Gibson for me.
All right. What do you feel about Michael Carter? We're going to get a lot of Michael Carter questions today. I like Carter today. I think he's very startable.
Yeah, I think that he is very startable. It'll just be, look, it's a new offense with Mike White under center. Like, you don't know. We've seen him before, like, be very dump off heavy, but that Jets offense last year also had like no wide receivers to throw the ball to. So it is a little different now that Garrett Wilson's there, Corey Davis is back, Elijah Moore is healthy. So it does change the dynamic a little bit, but Michael Carter's still the lead back. Even on paper, the Bears matchup is good. And if Michael Carter, if he sees 4, 5, 6 targets, like that gives him a nice floor. But Antonio Gibson, I think the matchup just as good. And I think that he's a better running back than Michael Carter is. And we've already seen Gibson be productive for the last couple of weeks. So I would just lean on Gibson.
Let's go to Aflac. Not a sponsor of the show, by the way. Pick two. It could be, though. We welcome your sponsorship, Aflac. Pick 2 and 1, please. Josh Palmer, Ayuk, DPJ, Cordell Patterson. So pick 2 and 1. Oh, so those are the flex guys. Okay, I'm getting the wording now. Najee or Cordero Patterson? It's Najee. It's not close.
Yes.
So that's out of the way.
There's no Jalen Warren.
There's no Jalen Warren. There is no Dana. There's only Zool. You get that reference? That's Ghostbusters. Okay, good. I'm just checking on you. Josh Palmer, Ayuk, DPJ, or Patterson. I'm playing Palmer and Ayuk. How about you?
Agreed.
This is easy. You guys this is pretty good so far. Couple of tough ones, but so far we're on.
Because people have already given up after they played Gabe Davis, Dawson Knox, and a bunch of guys that sucked on Thursday.
Well, I'm mad because I had Geno or Kirk Cousins in a league to play. And I was already in for Jefferson. I was like, look, if it's bad Kirk Cousins, I was like, I can't overcome both those guys. I'm playing Geno.
Yeah.
So now Geno has.
I think that was smart.
Well, we'll find out. We'll find out today. It's a very important league. It's Flex Championship.
Don't be results driven. You got to be process driven. The process said to play Smith. I think that's smart. He's playing the Raiders.
I agree. I know, but now if he's sitting there with 22 points after last week's 2 points.
All right, Joe, I put Mac Jones on my bench. Do you think I regret that decision?
In that league, I played Mac Jones. It's a super flex league. And I was like, well, I've already got to play Mac Jones. So can I afford primetime Cousins and Mac Jones and a bad game for Jefferson? Like I can't handle all these things. I'm going to die a slow death if that happens. All right. Let's go to Second Cup 2559. Fantasy Pro friends, it's me again. Choose a flex for standard league. Currently 6-4-1. All right, this is important. Burks, Robinson, Collins, Mooney, or DeMarcus Robinson. Current wide receivers are Watson and Godwin. I think I'm looking for Burks here. What do you think? It's either Burks or
I'm going Burks.
Do you want to? I think it's the Kyle Allen, Nico Collins thing is tempting, but I don't think I can go there. I think I'd rather go Burks, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's another layer of variance because we've never seen Kyle Allen and Nico Collins play together. So it's
all right, your biggest fan is back, by the way. Andrew Erickson, truther. all capital letters. Yes, Andrew Erickson. And I want to see how many exclamation points. 1, 2,
So
3,
is this
4,
their
5, 6,
YouTube
7, 8, 9,
account
10.
name? Is this
It
their,
is.
what their
It's
username
their
is?
YouTube account.
Interesting.
Their YouTube account name. Yes, it's theirs, Andrew.
Okay.
Theirs. Tammy McLeod. Good morning, guys. Hope you had a lovely Thanksgiving. You too, Tammy. Hope you had a lovely Thanksgiving. I did. It was very nice. Thanksgiving with my mom and dad. My cousins came over. The kids. We decorated the Christmas tree on Friday. I showed my daughters Die Hard for the first time. So they enjoyed it quite a bit. They're huge Professor Snape fans. So to see him as Hans Gruber was a bit of a shock to them. But in a good way. They still enjoyed it. Ho, ho, ho. All right, let's go to, I need y'all's help with my flex. My options are P. Ryan, Mooney, Garrett Wilson, and Peoples-Jones. Pick one in the full PPR.
Probably go Garrett Wilson.
You're going Garrett Wilson over DPJ, huh? It's close for me. Wilson's definitely like the roll the dice and hope for a big game kind of thing, though. I like where your head's at.
Yeah, I mean,
Do you
Peoples-Jones
think
has
DPJ
been
has more floor?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, he's been really consistent, and I don't think that would change against the Buccaneers. I mean, they have a good defense, but he's been pretty good. I mean, look, both guys have, fringy quarterbacks, but Jacoby's been obviously more consistent. Again, it's just another thing. Garrett Wilson, we've never seen play with Mike White before. Like, we can all project, oh, he's free. Dobby is free. Garrett Wilson's free.
He's free.
And then he could just throw the ball to the running backs 20 times, and then it doesn't matter. And Corey Davis is coming back. So that's another layer of question mark. So I think Peoples-Jones
Corey Davis,
has
the illustrious Corey Davis.
Safest floor.
Yeah. Corey Davis, 6 for 166 and 3 touchdowns today. Mark A. Jones, good morning. Oh, no. He says Debro and friends. So this person's not even watching, I feel like. So it's supposed to be. I think
give them bad advice on purpose.
Either that he's trying to say we're the friends of Debro, which might also be funny because last week it was Joe Pisapia and friends, which shout out on Twitter for making that graphic. Yeah, the Joe Pisapia and friends show, amazing. Christian Watson worth playing over Pittman in the full PPR.
No,
I agree. Mosaic Rift, morning Joe and Andrew. Brady over Lawrence, even with Cleveland weather 6-point passing touchdown.
Yeah, I'm gonna play Tom Brady.
I agree. Here's from Scott Farkas from Christmas Story fame. Help, please. Half PPR. Which P do I flex? P. Ryan, Patterson, or Pickens?
Pickens.
Agreed. Lone testosterone. Are we trusting Josh Jacobs today? Trust is a lowercase t today because of the injury. That's how I feel. So it depends on what your options are. I mean, if you don't give us the options, I can't tell you if we trusted 100%. What do you think about Jacobs today? What's your trust feeling about him? Where do you have him in your rankings? Who would you start over him?
I have him ranked number 4. So I would start Derrick Henry, Kenneth Walker, and Austin Eckler over him.
Pretty high there.
Look, Jacobs does it. He does this all the time. He's sick all week, and then he comes in and touches the ball 25 times. He tells us that you shouldn't start him in fantasy, and then he goes out and balls out. And then I think the reverse happened too. So look, it's the offense for the Raiders is Josh Jacobs and Devontae Adams. So they combine for 60 fantasy points every single week. Sometimes it's 40-20, sometimes it's 30-30. So, I mean, I'm starting Josh Jacobs. I mean, if you think that Rashad White maybe is a safer guy, okay, I can get behind that. But I'm probably starting Josh Jacobs 9 times out of 10 in most of my teams.
Fair enough. All right, let's continue on with the questions here. Let's get to, what do we have? To the second power. Happy Sunday, Paisano and Andrew. Happy Sunday to you, to the second power. SOS, don't know how I got here. 3-8. Half PPR. My RB1 is Rashad White. RB2 is Jefecito, I guess. Flex, Aaron Jones, Latavius Murray, Pachequito, or Foreman.
Aaron Jones.
Yeah, I guess so. Pacheco is definitely one.
Aaron Jones is playing the Eagles.
Yeah, it's Aaron Jones. No, you're right. It's Aaron Jones. Mad Satter. Morning, guys. Happy Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving to you, Mad. Half PPR. Need to Ayuk, Devontae Smith, Palmer. I have Tyreek Hill as my wide receiver 1. Well, that might be all you need this week.
Ayuk and Devontae Smith.
Next, Austin Wilhelm. Happy Thanksgiving, Joe and Andrew. And Troy. Look at that. See, Troy getting some love here from the people finally. Austin Wilhelm wants to know Rashad White, Godwin, or Damian Pierce this week in a PPR.
White.
Justin Howell, bros. P. Ryan or Ayuk into PPR. Love the show. And thanks always. Thanks, Justin. Appreciate you being
Ayuk.
part of the show.
Ayuk.
It's Ayuk as well for me. The keys are turned. The lazy one, 51, 10-team full PPR, 8-3. Set my lineup. Thanks for all you do. Hertz, QB, Freiermuth, Eckler, all locked in. So here we go. We've got Mixon, Leonard out. So Olave, Sutton, Palmer, Burks, Rashad White. So I guess somehow we got to pick on RB and 2 wide receivers from this group that's remaining. So it's Olave, Sutton, Palmer, Burks, Rashad White, and P. Ryan. It's Rashad White is the RB. And then what do you want to do? Palmer and Olave or Palmer?
Yep.
Yeah, it's Palmer and
Olave.
Bald God. I thought that was me. Watson or Pickens, full PPR flex. Someone stole my screen name.
Pickens.
Heather Mendez. Hope you had a fantastic turkey day, guys. Thanks, Heather. You too. Really need a win this week. Full PPR, choose 2. Montgomery, Palmer, Dotson, Burks, DPJ, or Pickens. And thanks for all the help every single week.
I'm going to go with Palmer and
Agreed.
Probably DPJ.
Okay. Tumek, hi guys. I need help. Mostert out. So would you play a flex Myles Gaskin or Nico Collins? I'm not playing Myles Gaskin.
Yeah, I have no idea what his role is like. I know you can try to buy into the blowout fact, but they could use Salvin Ahmed or one of these other dudes.
I'm not playing Myles Gaskin. I'm playing Nico Collins. Kelly Smith, Taysom Hill or Everett at tight end this week. This is a good one.
Everett.
He's
playing the Cardinals.
He
hasn't
been healthy either.
Yeah, I mean, it's just he's playing the Cardinals. He's not on the injury report this week, so I think he's worth it. Taysom Hill, you know as much as I do, Kelly, what his role and how many points he'll get. Every week in ECR, he's 1 week he's tight end 10, now he's tight end 22, and it's just really hard to predict what he's going to do on a week-to-week basis because his role is different every single week.
I agree. I mean, you ain't wrong, man. You ain't wrong. All right, let's go to the next one here. Let's go to the question of who do we have? Shannon Blackburn here. Good morning, guys. Gabe hurt my team bad this week. Need an RB and flex PPR. Damian Pierce, El Jefe, Palmer, DPJ, Sutton. So Jefe's in. Let's go right to Jeff Wilson. And obviously you got to make up some ground here. So I think Palmer's the way to make up ground, don't you?
I think so, yeah. I mean, that game probably has a chance to shoot out. Kyler's back.
As much as I like Pierce, I think Palmer's the better bet.
I mean, look, Pierce is always going to be a floor play because he plays on a horrible offense. He gets 20 touches per game, but we've seen the last 2 weeks where no touchdowns, not a lot of receiving work. They're probably going to get the doors blown off of them again against the Dolphins. Their offense, how are they going to stop this offense? I don't know.
How are you going to stop this?
What is your plan? They're on the road, so it's going to be they're playing in 90 degrees heat, while the Dolphins are on the sidelines, where it's sunny and 70 degrees because they have all these fans built out, and the Texans are just dying on the sidelines because their defense can't get off the field. Yeah.
All right, let's go to the next one here. We've got Jennifer Hafner, Rashad White, or Najee Harris in the half PPR.
I would go with White here.
Agreed. Chris Lovelace. My flex options are Keenan Allen, Rashad White, or P. Ryan.
If it's full PPR, I like Allen, but if not, it's at White.
Agreed. That's exactly what I was going to say. You're so smart, Andrew. Trey Stanfield, PPR, need 2. Pacheco, Patterson, Mooney, Sutton, Edwards. Definitely Pacheco. Who's the other one for you?
Gross.
This is a bad situation, man.
PPR,
Trey?
so it's dude, this Ravens offense is just so gross.
Well, here's a thought. I mean, with potentially Mooney. Trevor Siemian, you throw out Mooney and you go
against Sauce. Against Sauce? No way, man. I'm not doing that. I guess for me, it's probably. I mean, Sutton, Judy's still out, so Sutton's going to get a massive target share. What he's going to do with it? Don't know. That game is.
Forgot about the Sauce factor. I was thinking about targets and I forgot about Sauce for a second there. So that's. I mean, bad.
Sutton's kind of in a similar situation. I mean, he's going to get targets, but Horn is also nasty. So
yeah,
I'd say Sutton's probably
Gus
better.
Edwards. I can't start, and Patterson is just that's a tough one.
Yeah, I think Sutton's probably the move.
All right, man, this is a bad situation, Trey. It's a bad situation. It's not gonna lie. Not gonna sugarcoat it, buddy. Theodore Lyons Jr. The bigger question I have is if Samaje Perine is going to do well against Tennessee defense that eats RBs for breakfast. No, he's not going to do well.
No, he's not going to do well, and he's also going to split more work with Chris Evans, who didn't play last week. Like, I
Mhm.
don't think P. Ryan's looking at this like massive bell cow role. Like, if anything, the
Ryan
Bengals
has
are just
value
not
if
going
Joe
to run.
Mixon's out for a long time. That's where P. Ryan's potential value comes in.
The Bengals have, with their running back that's not playing, their starting running back, they're playing the number one run defense besides Washington. And what do you think that means that their plan is going to be? Oh, like, let's not run the ball. Like, let's throw it, which is what they like to do anyway. So, P. Ryan, yeah, he caught 3 touchdowns last week. That's not happening again. So, yeah, he'll be involved in the passing game, but Chris Evans is a really good receiver, too, out of the backfield. So, P. Ryan, it would not surprise you if he has less than 10 carries in this game. You're hoping maybe he gets a rushing touchdown. That's kind of what I think the P. Ryan projection really is.
The P. Ryan projections. Monica Herrera, grateful for you too. Oh, isn't that nice? Grateful for us. We're grateful for you, Monica. Happy Thanksgiving weekend. Same to you. Please help PPR Pickens or DPJ. Let's do that one first. She's got a couple here.
Man, Pickens is like, he's so close to this big game. I know it's like happening soon. Like it was like building up inside
There's
me.
a lot of excitement there from Erickson on this one.
Whereas DPJ, I know
he's just getting it done already. He's doing it now.
He's been doing it. I guess that there are some weather concerns in Cleveland, which is not great. So I'll go with Pickens.
Yeah, Pickens in the ECR is above him as well.
I think DPJ is kind of low in ECR. I mean, I've had him in the top. I've had him like around wide receiver 30 like the last couple of weeks. I think he's like wide receiver 36.
He's 40 this week, or in the rankings right now in ECR. Pickens is 33. You know, I would play Pickens as well because again, Ty goes to the touchdown, and the touchdown equity is there with Pickens.
He's just gonna have a big game. Like it's like he's seeing all the things we want to see. It just hasn't quite connected with him and Pickett. But he's seeing more.
There was that
targets than
moment where he overthrew him in that one where he's wide open that game last week too, or it could have been a 2 touchdown game for him.
I also know Pickens is better than DPJ. So
talent wise, yeah. Also Najee or Latavius Murray.
Najee.
Agreed. All right, let's go to RRQ89. Hey pros, please help. PPR Dulcich or Njoku. I want Njoku. Who do you want?
I'm fine with Njoku. Should play
ATN
more
or JWJ?
I mean, just play Jeff Wilson, whatever.
Why are you saying? Why are you so passive aggressive about it?
Because that's what you want. That's what you want the answer to be. You want to play Jeff Wilson.
This is not the Joe Pisapia live stream. This is the Fantasy Pros live stream. You're a Fantasy Pro. I'm a Fantasy Pro. I'm going to play Jeffrey Wilson, but you could say you're going to play ATN.
No, because that doesn't help this person. So I'm giving them permission to play Jeff Wilson over ETN.
You're giving them permission. Wow.
What? That's why they come on the show. That's why they want.
Is that why they come on the show? I thought they're here for the incredible entertainment value. That's why I thought
that too. That's a side. That's a side benefit.
Jeffrey Wilson Jr. So you think Jacksonville is going to outscore Miami today?
No. That's why I said that we could play Jeff Wilson over ETN.
Okay. Brandon Brame. Great content. Won 2 championships in a row using Draft Wizard. There you go. And my playbook. See? Brandon giving us like the pops. I told the league about it, and this year I'm 6-5. Wow, Brandon, there you go. So in the 4th playoff spot, tell your friends, but not your league mates. There you go. There you go. That's a great one right there from Brandon. There you go. Who needs to plug it? Again, just go download the My Playbook app, Apple Store, Google Play. Go download it, fantasypros.com/myplaybook. Check it out. Let's go to Joe Chaperone Sear. Hello from Montreal, Canada. Joe, full PPR. Would you trade AJ Brown and Juwan Johnson for Jonathan Taylor? Is that a move you want to make?
If I need a running back, yeah. I mean, Jonathan Taylor doesn't have a great schedule.
He has Justin Jefferson, T. Higgins, Dalvin Cook, Saquon Barkley, and George Kittle.
He also has a bye week too. To keep in mind with Jonathan Taylor, AJ Brown already has bye week. So
good point. Good point. If you're only starting 2 wide receivers in this league, and it looks like you are, then I really like having. Then I can bump Cook to that flex spot. So I do this deal. Jan Lederhaus, 7-4, second place. Need PPR flex help. Damian Pierce or Joshua Palmer. Highest floor.
Pierce.
Well, the floor's got to be Pierce, right?
Yep.
Okay. Michael Canning, half PPR, Cooks or Cobb?
Dude, I hate Brandon Cooks, but
I hate Randall Cobb.
I don't. Is Cobb even healthy? Like his quarterback has like this weird thumb injury, which is of course coming up now that he sucked all year. Now his thumb apparently is not.
Turns out his thumb, I didn't realize your thumb was so important to lead men. I didn't realize leadership was so thumb dependent.
He can't give his teammates thumbs up anymore because they think they don't like. They think that he doesn't like them.
Funny, if for Rodgers it only works down. with him. He can actually do this, but he can't do this. He can't say good job. He can do this though, all day.
I'll go with Brandon Cooks. He's got a new quarterback, so maybe it could lead to good things, and they should be down by a lot of points.
I agree. I'm rolling the dice with Cooks. Yikes. Michael, look for option C. Yatopoulos, Pickens, Watson, Michael Carter, Deontay Foreman, start 2. I want Pickens in, and I want Carter.
I think I'd just probably play Carter and Deontay Foreman.
You're not playing Pickens? You'll play the 2 running backs, eh? All right.
Running backs.
That's fair. That's fair. Eric G. That's fair. Replacing Fields, Marcus, Lawrence, or Heineke?
Probably play Trevor Lawrence.
All right. Let's go to the next one here. The past master. Who would you rather have the rest of the season? Brandon Ayuk or Dallas Goedert? Brandon Ayuk.
Yeah, I mean, he actually has value right now. So yeah, Ayuk.
You want the hurt tight end? Or do you want the guy who's like crushing it for 6 weeks in a row? Ashton Vodila. Good morning, gents. Great pre-stream music choice, by the way. That's actually Troy. Troy like lays down the beats before the show. Pick my wide receiver for standard. Sutton, Boyd, Curtis Samuel, Pickens, DPJ, Garrett Wilson. Standard league. I want Pickens.
Yeah.
Touchdown boy. John Hufford. I acknowledge Joey P as my tribal chief. Best. There we go. Can we give this guy the jersey? I want to give John the jersey right now. Love you guys. Hope you watched last night. It was super fun, by the way, if you watched War Games. And I did. Should I be starting Higgins over Amari Cooper and Tyler Lockett without a doubt? I would be starting Cooper for sure over Higgins. But the Lockett Higgins one is tough. What do you think about this one?
I mean, there's no chase. Higgins is still the alpha in that offense.
So
the
Higgins and Cooper?
Yeah.
Lockett's third? Yeah.
Yeah.
I get why John asked, though. Especially it's a good matchup against the Raiders.
We haven't seen, the Seahawks receivers have been good this year. Like, no doubt, like top 20 guys, but they haven't had like these league-winning weeks.
They're not winning you weeks. They've been good, but they haven't been great.
And part of it's because there's two of they both see a lot of not one of them really is the alpha in the offense between Metcalf and Lockett. They both do pretty well every week. Whereas Higgins is clearly ahead of Tyler Boyd and Amari Cooper. He's playing at home. Like this, he plays well at the dog pound, so you got to keep playing him.
I just like being acknowledged as the tribal chief. That's all. I'm the needle mover. That's right. Do you know what we're talking about, Andrew?
No idea.
Okay, good. Let's go to Triz Leslie. It's wrestling, by the way. It's Roman Reigns in the bloodline. It's WWE. He's been champ now for 845 days, I think, something like that. Triz Leslie, start Jacobs or White? You start Jacobs.
And White.
And White. Or should I start Pierce instead? I have Devontae, Debo, and DK as well.
Just start Jacobs and White, and then those receivers.
I would start Jacobs and White too. Yeah. Tanner Castleshout? Tanner Castleshout. Doing my best here. Must win a week. I need a high ceiling. Gus Bus, B-Rob, D-Rob, or Duvernay. Lots of B-Robs and D-Robs. Who's the ceiling? Is it Duvernay? I bet it is.
Dude. I mean, these
squeaky
Baltimore
wheel
wide receivers. Yeah, he was also in the injury report all week.
But he's gonna play.
Gus, he's gonna play. He's gonna be on the field.
He's gonna be on the field.
He's got a massive ceiling this week.
I mean, B-Rob doesn't have any upside. Gus Bus doesn't.
Man, I guess. Okay. So let's cross out B-Rob because he plays on Washington. The Ravens should score more points. I think. I don't know. They scored 13 points last week.
This is fun. This is like an SAT question. We're gonna eliminate them one at a time. For
D-Rob has gotten a lot of targets. I mean, he had 100 yards receiving last week.
I don't have a problem with doing D-Rob or Duvernay. It's one of those two guys.
But Gus Bus probably has the most. I mean, if they give him the ball, I mean, like how bad they were running the ball last week. I think I'll go with Gus Bus. I don't know.
I mean, Demarcus Robinson was dealing with an injury too, by the way.
I'd go Gus Bus because they could just give him the ball at the goal line. He scores 3 touchdowns. Like that's probably the biggest ceiling in my opinion.
You know what? I think you're onto something there. If Gus Bus indeed gets a 2-touchdown game, he blows everybody else out of the water. He doesn't even have to have a yardage total. Like he could have 8 yards.
The last time we saw him play, he did or before when he first came back the first time, he scored 2 touchdowns, and everyone was like, "Oh, all aboard the Gus Bus!" And then he got hurt the next week. So
yeah, Gus Bus did not drive off into the sunset. Bruce Nowak, morning fellas, need Superflex help. Full PPR. Fields looks like to be a bust this week, so I picked up Terry McLaurin. So pick one: Terry McLaurin, Kirk, Najee, CPAT, or pick up Dalton, Pickett, or Heineke. So let's first start. Would you play Dalton, Pickett, or Heineke this week over McLaurin or Kirk or Najee?
I just probably I'd pick up Pickett. Start the quarterback.
Yeah, Pickett's ugly points is probably the way I would go too.
Yeah.
I mean, McLaurin and Kirk are not bad options. Neither is Najee Harris too. He's gonna touch the ball a fair amount, but
I mean, like Pickett has like a 14-point floor, and that's kind of what you're just hoping you get out of those receivers. And
yeah,
running
that's
back.
fair. And Pickett's gonna get you at least probably 16, 17.
Yeah, I would just play the
Even
quarter.
if
I
he's
mean, like, look,
mediocre.
if you were deciding between like Bryce Perkins and like all the other jabroni, like Kyle Allen, like okay, I would start one of these wide receiver running backs. But Pickett,
I like that
I don't
you're
know.
using the word jabroni now because you've spent so
Like,
much
I
time
mean,
with me.
Pickett's been. I've started Pickett in my Superflex leagues ever since he's became the starter, and I have a good record in that league. So I would play Pickett. I think he's a good start.
All right, let's go to the next one here from Carlos Munoz, Lopez, El Jefe, or McCaffrey in PPR.
What, you're the McCaffrey guy. What do you got? Who you got here?
Well, isn't it funny though? Remember a couple weeks ago where people were like, "Oh, McCaffrey's the best player," blah, blah, blah. Now everyone's bitching and complaining on the internet. That's what they're doing. They're complaining about the lack of upside now because he's not getting all the carries. And do you remember when I said, "Let's be patient. Let's wait and see how that goes. Let's see the next few weeks, and let's see what happens with McCaffrey before we write off my good friend Justin Jefferson." Here's the thing: the last 2 weeks he has been a RB11 and RB13, Christian McCaffrey.
Good, but not great.
Yeah. Now he's got New Orleans this week. Is this another good but not great? Or is this the 36-point week 8 performance? That's the problem. It's really hard to sit McCaffrey. I can't sit McCaffrey.
Yeah, I mean, I think that he has the higher floor.
You got to play Jeffrey Wilson. Like, I don't know how you squeeze him in this week, but you got to play Jeff Wilson this week.
Fair enough.
But
Carlos.
not over McCaffrey, Carlos. That's what you got to do.
Okay, I agree.
But isn't it funny? Like, here we are. All I've seen is the negativity around CMC the last 2 weeks about his lack of upside, his lack of ceiling in this offense.
Well, it's not
funny.
It's the lack of he's not like the
he's not
cheat
getting
code.
all the touches anymore.
He's not the cheat code that he was before.
Right. He's not the tribal chief like I am.
Exactly.
There you go. All right, let's go to Tim. Pick 2 to stream. Mike White, Heineke, and Matt Ryan.
Heineke and Matt Ryan for me.
Yeah, it is. Although there's a part of me, being the fantasy Loki that I am, that really wants Mike White to crush it today. And I hate the Jets, but I don't know why. I think it's more my disdain for Zach Wilson that I just want to see a huge Mike White game. And I want to see like Garrett Wilson and Elijah Moore and even Corey Davis, if he's healthy enough to do it, just pick him up and carry him off the field after the game.
Oh my God.
I really want to see that. That's what I want. Let's go to Aaron Lowe, full PPR, pick 1, Mooney, MVS, DPJ, Marquise, Hollywood Brown.
DPJ. And then for the quarterback, he's asking for Derek
So no
Carr.
Marquise Brown. First game back, you're just too afraid?
Oh, I mean, if it wasn't DPJ, if it was another like another jabroni in there, I'd probably say Marquise Brown. Look, people just need to realize that
what's the Mike Williams effect?
Yeah, Marquise Brown is probably gonna, if he plays like fully and he's not limited, then he's probably a top 24 play. But his floor is 0 points. Like, that's the thing you have to take into consideration. It's really hard to capture that with a linear ranking of Marquise Brown. Like, I think I have Marquise Brown in my top 30, which kind of reflects, okay, I think that he does end up playing the full game because they just have so many injuries at receiver. But that also doesn't guarantee that he's going to be locked. Because, I mean, Mike Williams last week, I was telling people to start Mike Williams over Keenan Allen. I was like, oh, he's top 24 guy. And then
and
he
it
got hurt.
Did not work out.
I was like, that sucks. Like,
but now we're gun shy. Now Marquise Brown will end up going for 6 for 100.
But
Derek Carr or Mike or the Mike White at QB2. You got to start Derek Carr. I mean,
Derek Carr's been pretty good over the last couple weeks. It's just, he's just
I like
hyper targeting.
This is a good matchup for Derek Carr today too. Like, this is
Seattle's corners are tough on the perimeter, but Devontae Adams has had the toughest 2 matchups the last 2 weeks against wide receivers, and it doesn't matter.
Devontae Adams is special, boys and girls. He's special. Aiden Gonin, full PPR, Garrett Wilson or Marquise Brown at flex.
I'd go Garrett Wilson.
Agreed. Kofi Abasa, our friend Kofi. In the flex, Sanders, Murray, or Gus?
Sanders.
Mark Cirincione. There you go, Mark. I figured it out. Oh, no, that's Greek.
Whatever.
Cirincione is probably Italian. But
it's all
that's
European.
Okay. I figured it's all European. Palmer, Boyd, Foreman, Sutton need 2.5 PPR with upside. Well, it's definitely Palmer.
Upside.
So what do you want to go the other one?
Foreman.
There's your upside, huh? I guess.
Hey, Sam Darnold, baby. Let's go. Let's ride.
I tell you, there's so much variance today between Sam Darnold, Kyle Allen, and Mike White. The amount of weird variance that's going to happen in some of these games where we just don't know. I mean, between the wagering world being this is a great week to start looking at the whatever the opposite was going into a wagering this week. I'd be looking at whatever, like the complete and polar opposite right now, because the variance is absurd this week. Erd Nuschlip. I mean, help me out here, guys. I mean, what are you doing with these names? Nuschlip? Philip? Is that it? Can you say that, Erickson?
I don't know.
I know you don't get paid for that, but
Nuschlip, Philip.
Pick 2. Samaje Perine, Rashad White, Michael Carter, Brandon Ayuk. The decision's really blowing my head. I'm playing Rashad White and Brandon Ayuk. This is not, I have no hesitation here. It's Ayuk and White. Erickson?
Oh, your Nuschlip's, your username is blowing my freaking head. I'm going to go with Rashad White and Ayuk as well.
I'd like to buy a vowel. That's what I'd like to do. Tucker Breen, half PPR, flex Olave or Najee.
I think it's floor, ceiling. If you want a higher floor, just play Najee because he's going to get all the work, and then Olave, just a receiver, has a higher ceiling.
I agree. Then Tucker wants to know Njoku or Moreau. I'm playing Njoku. How about you?
I'm going to play Foster Moreau and probably hate myself for it, but
yeah, probably. You're right. Jen Richard, full PPR, half point per carry. Pick 2, please. Foreman, Pirine, or B-Rob. Thanks, guys.
Foreman and B-Rob.
Okay. Wallaby Beatles. Good morning, guys. Pick 3. Olave, Palmer, Campbell, Christian Watson, Devontae Smith. I believe I can clinch a playoff spot with a win today. All right, let's get that playoff spot. Palmer in. Yes, that's 1. Smith in. That's 2.
Yep. And then Olave.
There you go. There's 3. Morning, guys. This is from Nick. Full PPR, flex spot, Foreman, Pierce, Sutton, or Pickens. I think it's still Pierce for me.
Yeah, go with Pierce.
I mean, he's just touching the football so much. I mean, like, I know people are panicking from last week. I wouldn't take last week.
It's not going to be it's not going to be as bad as last week.
No, no. I think that's why people are panicking about Pierce, and I get it. It was frustrating.
And again, you said the quarterback change. Like Kyle Allen comes out, balls out, throws the ball.
Kyle Allen's a better quarterback than Davis Mills. Doesn't make Kyle Allen good, but he's better quarterback than Davis Mills. Period. End of story. Well, now, after today, I would like to say the phrase. So. After this week, when the Jets win, I'm going to hopefully on Monday come in and say Mike White is a better quarterback than Zach Wilson. And that's going to be fun. I want to do that. Frankie Postal, please help me. I am truly in need of assistance. Wow, this is very dramatic, Andrew. Full PPR, need 2 wide receivers and a flex. Debo, Waddle, Olave, Campbell, J-Rob, Kyron Williams, and Foreman. I also have Mooney, but he's going to get sauced now. So Mooney's out. So what we need is 2 wide receivers and a flex. Andrew, we can't sit Waddle. Waddle's in.
Correct.
We got to play Debo if he's healthy.
I think I'd rather play Olave.
But we have one more spot. So is Olave, Debo, Waddle?
Yep.
Okay, there you go. Frankie, Debo, Waddle, Olave. If you get some weird news about Debo in the next hour, then you can go pivot to, who would be the pivot point? Would it be Campbell or Foreman?
Probably Foreman.
Okay, let's go to El Ray Adams. Good morning, guys. Choose 3: Sutton, Terry, Kirk, Mooney, Juju.
Juju, Kirk, and Terry.
Dingo. Shelby Mertens. Good morning. Yippee-ki-yay. That's right, baby. Jimmy G or Carr, half PPR, Pittman or Ayuk, Philly or KC. We'll take them one at a time. Jimmy G or Carr today?
Jimmy G.
Pittman or Ayuk today?
Ayuk.
Correct. Let's say 3 for 3. Philly or Kansas City D?
Chiefs.
Yeah, Chiefs are gonna. Imagine how good that.
Dude, Perkins is he's gonna get sacked like
Perkins
10 times.
Playing. Wolford's playing.
Oh, it is Wolford?
Yeah, it's Wolford now. He's okay. Just like I thought Chase Young was okay, but he's not okay.
Oh, I gotta update the ranks then. I gotta move Perkins all the way down to 33.
Let's go to Kroll, the Warrior Princess. Morning, fellas. Hope you had a wonderful Thanksgiving. You too, Kroll. PPR flex, Sutton, Pirine, or Mooney?
Pirine.
Yep. Beetlejuice, Cooks or Patterson?
I'd play Patterson in this situation.
Billy Bob, happy Thanksgiving. Recovery weekend, gents. Half PPR flex, Pacheco, Pickens, or Watson?
Pacheco.
All right. And already have Rashad White and ETN locked in. Okay. So there you go. And had some good points from Amon-Ra. There you go. You're doing all right. Will Parker. I have JT and Kamara. Well, both of them having the same bye week in a few weeks. Should I trade ONJ and Kamara for Chubb?
I think it means OBJ, and yes.
I think so. I don't know who ONJ is. That's a person who's on DPN. They're on the same team together.
Yeah, I would trade OBJ and Kamara for Chubb.
Yes, I second that emotion. Do it right now. Don't hesitate. Robert Halverson, Watson, or Burks in the PPR?
Burks.
Jazz Pope, which is like when the Pope has jazz hands. He's blessing everybody. Christian Watson or Garrett Wilson in the PPR?
Wilson.
Jamie Justice, Pittman, or Lockett for flex?
Lockett.
And separately, DPJ or London? Oh, come on, it's got to be
DPJ
here. And Njoku or Dulcich?
I like Dulcich.
I like Njoku. I'm not gonna. No, I won't let you Dulcich anymore. Just because you love his flowing locks of hair, don't let that shade your judgment. Austin O'Shea, Juju, Pirine, or Ayuk in the full PPR. I need one. It's hard not to play Juju, right?
Yeah. In full
I know
PPR,
it's scary, but I think you got to do it. Craig Arguello, morning guys. Thanks for your help. Full PPR, AJ Brown or Keenan Allen. Worried about Brown with the illness and the weather in Philly.
Sure, then you can play. It's full PPR, so yeah, Allen's fine. You have Hurts, so if Brown does well, then you don't totally get left out in the dust.
JD Tremblay, half PPR, pick 2, Montgomery, McLaurin, Evans, or Olave. Evans is going for another record today, by the way. Did you know that? I saw that earlier this morning. It's another one of these crazy, he's got 7 straight seasons of XYZ. Whether it's I don't know if these guys care about these things us nerds do.
But he has the rest of the season to do it, right? So it's not like it has to be this game.
No, but I mean,
so then that probably doesn't matter. I mean, as long as he does it by the end of the year.
Breaking news: Justin Fields is officially inactive.
Shocker.
So,
shocked.
I'm picking up your sarcasm, Andrew.
With this effect, so a lot of people were basically telling people not to start Mooney anyway. Komet. Does this change how you feel about Komet?
100%. I'm not. No, I would avoid Komet unless I couldn't.
Okay.
And I think everybody knows what that means. It's if it's Komet or the dregs of the waiver wire, then you throw Komet and you hope for the best. And maybe you get a late touchdown or something like that. Or, look, Trevor Siemian's played in this league a long time. Trevor Siemian will, but it's not going to be good. But
the thing that the big concern though was you could spin it as oh well they'll throw more he is not a mobile quarterback, he can't run, but it also means that he can't escape the bad Bears offensive line like Fields could. So he might be a sitting duck. Obviously Jets defense is obviously a great play now. They kind of were already a great.
Well, they were
a
great play anyway. I mean, they're the most expensive defense, by the way. This week
we just saw this
FanDuel,
defense,
which was stunning to me.
I mean, we saw this defense suffocate the Patriots offense that looked pretty decent against the Vikings. So I would try to avoid all Bears. Even Dave Montgomery is he's the volume play, but even with he's not that good. We know that. And so I think Dave Montgomery, you're playing you're playing Rashad White over Dave Montgomery. You're playing a lot of these streaming guys over Dave Montgomery.
All right, let's go to the next question here. And by the way, everybody, if you got questions, we've got answers. Don't forget, make sure you drop your questions in the chat. You can only do that if you're a subscriber to Fantasy Pros. So if you haven't already, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Like the stream, everybody. If we answered your question, like the stream. If we gave you a laugh, like the stream. If you're just, having a good time, listening to some football chat, like the stream. Subscribe, like the stream, drop a question or comment, turn that bell on until it goes ding. Like the stream. Did I mention you should like the stream, Andrew? You should always like the stream. And then 2 thumbs up. That's more than Aaron Rodgers can do. That's twice as much than Aaron Rodgers can do. And you could win a T. Higgins autographed jersey from our good friends. There it is right there in the corner. Bada boom. See that bad boy? T. Higgins, number 85 himself from our good friends at pristineauction.com. It can be yours. All you have to do is be part of our FP family and go subscribe and drop your comments and questions. Let's get to the next comment/question. Let's go to, who do we have here? Let's go to Paul0702. Full PPR, ETN, Najee, Pierce, or Murray. I can only start 2. Thanks, guys. Well, ETN is in, so then it's Najee, Pierce, or Murray.
Najee.
Agreed. Just in EDC, 8-3 in first place PPR. Should I start Antonio Gibson or Pirine? Thanks, Fantasy Pros. Gibson, yay? Yeah. Miranda Jordan, flex, Debo Samuel, or Keenan Allen in the PPR. She says, good morning. Good morning, Miranda.
I like Keenan Allen.
I would agree. Willie Moe, what's up, fellas? How about them Gamecocks? Yeah, seriously. Spencer Rattler might have just somehow resurrected any value he had in the possible potential NFL draft. I mean, this was a guy who was supposed to be 2 years ago, like the second coming, and then he ended up in the transfer portal. I don't know if you've been watching Spencer Rattler the last 2 weeks. Last week, he had 6 touchdowns in that crazy upset game against Tennessee. Last night, or yesterday afternoon, I should say. I know, Andrew, you're focused on other things, but, like caterers and DJs and all that stuff. But have you watched any of the Spencer Rattler last 2 weeks?
I have not, no.
It's been pretty good. He's a very athletic kid. Did not perform well with expectations. It took all the expectations away.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, he's figured it out. So we'll see. I chose not to start Kirk Cousins. So now I'm forced to choose a quarterback off the waiver wire. This is when you got to start. Like if you had Geno Smith, like Andrew was saying, like the good logic is, all right, Geno's got a good matchup. Cousins, your little sketch about, okay, it's Patriots D. All those things were fair. But when you have to go and look at the waiver wire, you're putting yourself in a bad spot. Luckily, Carr's there. So I would just pick up Carr and play Carr.
Yep.
Yes?
Yep.
Okay.
Carr.
No Heineke, no Mike White. Pick up Carr. Valley 91. Hello from Germany. Hello, Valley. Pick 2. Debo, Ayuk, Sutton, Hollywood, Curtis Samuel. Ayuk is in. Debo's in. Yes?
Yeah, I just played both 49ers, guys.
There you go. All the 49ers today. William Huttenhauer. How's your Huttenhauer, by the way, Andrew? Your Huttenhauer's doing okay?
Excellent.
All right, good. You gotta make sure you keep your Huttenhauers clean. Start 2 PPR. DPJ, Deonta Foreman, Deontay Johnson, Deontay Pacheco, or Deontay Burks. Everyone's named Deontay.
Go with Foreman and Pacheco.
All right, there you go. Jason Miyasaki. Jason Miyasaki. I'm trying my best here, Jason. Good morning, Hamas. 1 PPR. Gibson or Pierce?
Gibson.
Okay, let's go to Crispy. Heineke, Tannehill, Ryan, or Dalton?
It's between probably actually start Heineke.
Okay, why? Curious. I don't often ask the why.
He's playing the Falcons, and they suck. So it's like, I mean, that's really why. Like, I'm not like over enthused about Tannehill.
You know what,
or
man?
Matt Ryan.
I know. I just can't do it. Like Houston sucked too in that logic, and he only put up 8 points last week.
Yeah, but we know Houston only gives up points on the ground. Like we know that for a fact. Whereas Falcons give up way more points through the air. So
I don't know. I think I would go with Matt Ryan.
That's fair. I mean, if he has time to throw, then he can throw in the Steelers. It's just, will he have time to throw?
Well, but Ryan Tannehill or Matt Ryan, one of those two, I think is just a little safer. Heineke with these single digit things, man. I can't handle single digits 2 weeks in a row. That scares the crap out of me. I can't do Heineke. I'm going to go with Ryan probably over Tannehill, but it's by this much. Heineke would be the third guy for me. Brian Faust, playoff in jeopardy. Help, please. Pick 3. Sutton, Campbell, Pirine, Devontae Smith, Pierce, Garrett Wilson. All right, let's go. So Devontae Smith in, Pierce in.
Pearson, and then Garrett Wilson.
Garrett Wilson. There you go. So you have more faith in Garrett Wilson this week with Mike White than you do with Campbell, what you know with Ryan.
Yeah. I think
okay.
I mean, Garrett Wilson's better.
I agree. That is fair. Sam Greenberg, Rashad White, or Travis Etienne? It's Travis Etienne still.
Yeah.
Andrew checked me. I've been officially checked. So there you go. Mark Noel. I was just so excited. Last night when I got that Leonard Fournette news. Mark Noel, need 2 of the 3. Donovan Peoples-Jones, Drake London, or Treylon Burks. It's DPJ and Burks for me, bro.
Yep.
Enough. So sad for Drake London.
Well,
so sad.
Maybe he'll get more targets this week because there's no Kyle Pitts.
We should send Cal. Great. Antonio Garcia, Aaron Jones, or Pacheco? It's Jones still, right?
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if Pacheco outscores him, but you got to play Jones. CLMT Kid 78. Good morning from San Diego. Flex Devontae Smith or Deonta Foreman in a half PPR?
Devontae Smith.
Okay. UConn lost for my last flex. This gives me a playoff berth. Looking at Damian Pierce, Edwards, Cooks, Robinson, Pirine. It's Pierce, right?
Yeah. Pierce.
I'm playing Pierce. Like, this is an easy one for me. Look, I know last week sucked. Okay, we got to move on. Okay, sometimes things are bad. Just got to move on. Learn to love again, everyone. Please. Karan El Mix. Again, I'm just the messenger. Hi there. Please help. Carter or P. Ryan. It's Carter for me. How about you?
Yeah, Carter for me as well. But we just got news that James Robinson's also inactive.
Oh,
So,
now it's definitely Carter for me. Sutton or DPJ?
DPJ.
DPJ. All right, let's go to the next one here. Cole Hardman. Love the show. Thanks for all the advice. Thanks, man. Fighting for bye weeks in 2 of my big money leagues. Palmer or Pittman after starting Gabe Davis? Palmer for me. It's not close.
I think it's close, but I'll go with Palmer as well.
You think it's close, eh?
I mean, Pittman has been
fine.
decent with Matt Ryan. So,
but not if you need some upside. Like that's what's going on here.
Well, no, I mean he's just
already
Deontay
played
Johnson.
Gabe Davis. Right. He's Deontay Johnson in a Colts helmet.
Yeah, pretty much.
Steve Murphy. Flex options. Full PPR. Everett or Akers?
Do not start Cam Akers if there's a fire. Gerald Everett.
Okay, Gabriel Hand. Yo, Joey P and Andrew E. Happy Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving to you. Tua versus Houston or Murray versus the Chargers? I'm playing Tua.
I'm never playing Kyler Murray again this season. So yeah.
Welcome to my universe.
Dude, this is the classic Kyler Murray.
Bust of the year.
He starts the year out hot, hurts his hamstring,
yeah,
complains, and sucks for the rest of the year. So just play Tua. Drop Kyler Murray. Have someone pick him up. He's a landmine.
I want to say, remember in the beginning of the year, we did that whole thing about like our biggest bust of the year. I'm almost 100% sure mine was Kyler Murray. That's looking pretty good. I totally forgot about that one. But it's every year he gets hurt in some fashion.
He does the exact same thing every single season.
Like whether he plays through it or he doesn't play through it, it doesn't matter. Raheem Mostert, by the way, inactive officially as well. So there you go.
That was the expectation.
Michael Ortiz, help me make the playoffs. Gino or Murray?
Gino.
Yeah. I love when you get to pile on Kyler Murray 2 in a row there. Alolan Jose, good morning, gents. Half PPR, bench 1. Kamara, Rashad White, Jonathan Taylor. I'm not benching Jonathan Taylor. So it's White or Kamara. You're benching Kamara. Wow. There we go. Let's go. Let's do it. All the Rashad White. Traden, need help with this full PPR. I need to bench 1 out of AJ Brown, Waddle, or McLaurin. So who's the odd man out here? It's got to be McLaurin, right?
Full PPR.
You can't sit Brown and Waddle. You just can't do it. I mean,
McLaurin is playing the Atlanta Falcons.
I don't care. He's still got Tera Heineke as quarterback.
I would probably sit AJ Brown because he doesn't catch. He doesn't see a ton of volume. And the guy I mentioned earlier when we were talking about Brown that he's on the injury report, has a sickness. There's bad weather. So I would be willing to sacrifice the upside with Brown, knowing that I can get a safer floor with Waddle and McLaurin. So that's
that is a very, very astute observation. That was good. Very good, Andrew Erickson. You're a heck of an analyst, Erickson. Just in case nobody's told you today.
Thanks, Joe.
Jason Stark. Hello, 3-8. It's a dogfight for the playoffs. 3-8. It's a dogfight for the playoffs.
This might be your last week.
Well, I was like, listen, Jason, I'm just excited you're here. Pick 1, PPR, P. Ryan, Sutton, Pickens, and Burks. This is why we're 3-8. I just want to point this out.
Pickens.
All right. Cannon Bickle, Russell Wilson or Aaron Rodgers with Fields out.
Can't play Russell Wilson, so Rodgers.
All right.
Thumbs, can't play him.
Old Thumbs Rodgers himself. Ackright 99, Pacheco, Jeffrey Wilson, Rashad White, Damian Pierce need to start 2. It's
Wilson and White.
And White. There you go. Lil Shouty Spice is back. Oh, my favorite. Lil Shouty Spice. Lil Shouty Spice says, Fantasy Pros, I need help. Bad full PPR Olave versus team that allows fewest fantasy points to wide receivers, or Pittman against a team that allows the second most. or Pittman that allows the most. Excuse me. I'm sorry. And then
I don't think that's accurate. I don't think the Colts have allowed the
Steelers. The Steelers have allowed a lot. I don't know if they were the most still this week, but
I'm still going to start Olave.
But here's the one thing you have to understand about that stat with the Steelers is for 6 weeks they were missing arguably the best pass rusher in the league.
Yep.
So when you're not putting pressure on the quarterback, it's a lot easier to sit in the pocket and throw the football. So, I mean, their corners aren't great to be. I mean, Minka hasn't played great. He's been hurt off and on all year. So you can't sometimes this is where data points sometimes are screwy because yes, that's true, but that was a unique set of circumstances that are not the same circumstances now when it comes to the Steelers defense. So are you going to start Olave or Pittman?
I'm going to start Olave.
And then Connor Foreman or Lazard in the flex. I like Connor's floor this week. It's so good.
Connor is I like Connor a lot this week. Look, we were talking about the Arizona Cardinals, right? And how they're all banged up, the receiver.
Mhm.
James Conner plays a role in the receiving game. Like and Kyler Murray, if his hamstring is banged up, he's not going to be running. So like, it's really going to be like 15 targets for DeAndre Hopkins, whatever we can get from a Marquise Brown, whether he's healthy or not. They're not throwing the ball to AJ Green. They're not throwing the ball to Robbie Anderson, which like, why did they make that trade in the freaking first place? I don't know. Maybe you got to ask why the Bills made that Nyheim Hines trade. Same exact reason.
Well,
So,
I got a big talking to on the YouTube channel. It's because of his return skills, to which I said, weren't we all like fawning over ourselves about how great Isaiah McKenzie was as a returner? Like, I don't know. Like, I don't get it.
Whatever. Yeah, just play Connor.
That was pretty much it. All right, next here.
long story short.
Long story short, just play Connor. All right, let's go to Epri187, full PPR, Garrett Wilson, Burks, or DJ Moore.
Garrett Wilson.
Okay. Tom Kleingers, pick 3, Hopkins, Allen, Godwin, Debo. Down and needs ceiling. Well, I'm playing Hopkins,
Debo.
Allen, and Debo. That's your third guy over Godwin. So Godwin's the odd man out.
No, I would say don't start Debo.
Don't start Debo. Okay.
He's the one that has the
Hopkins,
injury.
Allen, Godwin in. Okay. Football lover, full PPR, one of Isaiah Pacheco, Garrett Wilson, Treylon Burks.
Pacheco.
Agreed. Nick, flex 1 for the full PPR, Palmer, Damian Pierce, Latavius Murray. Thanks for the help.
Go with Pierce.
Okay, let's go to Brian Herzog. What's up, my tribal bros? Tribal chief bros. That's right. He's not in the bloodline because he doesn't even know what we're talking about, Brian, but you're in the bloodline. You're cool. You're super oozy. You're awesome. Team Billionaires Vinegar, first place, 9-2. Very nice. Full PPR, need 4 of the 5, 2 RBs, and the 2 flex. So Walker, ATN, P. Ryan, Cooper, Metcalf. That's what you have to choose from.
So not P. Ryan out of those guys.
Yeah. It's pretty simple, not P-Run. Corey Tofar, good morning, y'all. Help my trash team. 12 team FPPR. Corey, keeping it real. Pick 2 wide receivers. Burks, Samuel, Hollywood.
Burks and Hollywood.
Pick 1 running back. Robinson, P. Ryan.
Whatever. It's P. Ryan.
It's Brian Robinson.
Whatever,
it's
Robinson.
Robinson.
Yeah. Well, he's not playing. So yeah, P. Ryan either way.
Cesar Nevarez, gangstas. What's up, guys? Now we're gangsters too. That's cool. Full PPR. I need 2. DPJ, Hollywood Brown, Pacheco, Marshall Jr. I'm going with Pacheco and I'm going Hollywood. Playing for a little upside there. That's what I want to do.
Yeah, I think
play safe.
That's fair. I think DPJ is safer, but yeah. I get the upside with Hollywood.
Eric Morgan, start 1. Pittman or Kirk?
Kirk.
Andrew Kim, Palmer, Juju, or Olave?
Olave.
See, this is where I would go to Juju. I'm gonna play the potential Patrick Mahomes. Like, the options are limited there. It's Kelsey and Juju basically. Like MVS, whatever. Like, I feel like we got a little tunnel vision this week in a good matchup. I understand the concern, but I think I would play Juju over Olave. I know why you're saying Olave. He's tremendous, but it's a tough scenario. Roberto Del Regil. Half PPR, Moreau or Hurst?
Moreau.
Benjamin Garcia, 1 point PPR, Pacheco or Michael Carter?
So now that...
Yeah, the PPR, this is a tougher call now.
So yeah, that's the thing with Pacheco. Like, he's not going to catch passes.
Nope.
So that definitely makes him more touchdown dependent. Or Carter. I think Carter play actually has a higher floor, especially now James Robinson's out. Like, yeah, maybe they'll use Ty Johnson, but they really haven't used him a lot this year. So Michael Carter is like looking at a pretty steady workload. I got to move Carter up my rankings now that Robinson's like officially inactive. So, but I'd probably move him ahead of Pacheco. I think in standard it'd probably be Pacheco, even half, maybe lean towards Pacheco, but full PPR, I think Carter is the go here.
All right, let's get to the next question here. And remember, everybody, if you want to have some fun, you hang out with us, call some touchdowns yourself, go join our Discord, fantasypros.com/chat, free to join. And of course, we've always got those incredible fun contests we're doing, like the touchdown calls, Hearts 24K, just wire to wire, crushing it, 53 touchdowns. But every week, we're still giving away individual prizes for the weekly winner, $25 to our Fantasy Pros shop. So good stuff there. We're giving away a Stephon Diggs jersey for the winner there. So somebody needs to dethrone Hearts 24K, just wire to wire. It's impressive run, Hearts. Impressive run. Let's get to Anthony Ramos. 1 wide receiver, 1 running back, 1 flex, 18 PPR. Pittman, Juju, Brown, Walker, ATN, Taylor.
1, 2, 3. So we still have to start 3 guys. So I'm starting AJ Brown. Or I'm starting Walker. I'm starting ETN. And I'm starting AJ Brown. So I'd sit Taylor.
Wow, sitting Taylor's tough. I'd play Walker, Taylor, and Juju. That would be my trio.
I mean, why Taylor over ETN? Sorry, Joe's coughing.
That's all right. I'm dying. Don't worry about it. Why Taylor over Etienne? Is that what you said?
Yes.
Again, we talk about performance. We talk about like game-breaking guy. We talk about all those things. As much as I like the ATN talent and usage, he's coming off a less than stellar game. He's got
coming
a
off a
tough
bye
Baltimore
week.
Raven. No, before that, it was a less than stellar performance, was it not?
Yeah. I mean,
Okay.
Jonathan Taylor's had his fair share of less than stellar games.
But most of his were based on health, and he's healthy now. So I think Walker's a lot. I think all these guys are top 10 guys. I just think Taylor and Walker are the safer of the two because I guess I have a little bit more respect for that Baltimore Ravens D. I've been watching them the last 2 weeks since they went and made the Roquan Smith acquisition. He just allows them to do a lot of things defensively that really changed that game. All of a sudden, you see Calais Campbell in Houston. These guys just get into the quarterback because Roquan's just a monster in the middle that you have to account for. And it's just that's how I see it. So I see Taylor with an easier path to points this week than ATN. It's not a knock on ATN. I still would love to start him, but it's an 8-team league, so like the margin for error is so thin. So Taylor, Walker, Juju for me because I feel like I can count on all of those things more. Hakikila. Erickson, why don't you take a crack at this?
I have no idea. I'm not trying.
Godwin.
Godwin.
Haiklia 86. Hello from Finland. There you go. I've been, it's probably easier to pronounce and finish. Wide receiver 2, Pittman or Godwin in non-PPR.
Oh God, I hate Godwin in non-PPR.
You got to play him anyway, though.
Yeah, it's like Pittman. I'm kind of like it's kind of the same thing. It's like
I got to play Godwin. Hope for the best.
All right,
hope that he
I
gets
agree.
a touchdown. Go start James Conner or Rashad White.
I like James Conner.
I would agree. Aaron Avila, standard, Lazard or Sutton? Still Lazard.
Yes.
TJ Lynn.
So, Russell Wilson has 7 touchdowns.
Well, but he just wants us to know. And then Aaron wanted us to know with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 exclamation points that it was a standard league. TJ Lynn, start 1 full PPR. Rashad White, Jeff Wilson, Monty. It's Jeff Wilson. Kinky Tassum. Ooh, Kinky Tassum. Good morning. Currently second place and playing fourth place today with Jamar out. Need to help in the PPR, half PPR, Paris Campbell, Devin Duvernay, DJ Moore. Campbell's the safe play.
Yeah, 100%.
And then also Luvu or Devin White for IDP. I'm going to go with Luvu this week. Beatdown Sound, PPR, Pickens or Watson?
Pickens.
Agreed. Sweet Dreams. Hello, gentlemen. Wide receiver Burks or London? I'm playing Burks. Tim C, half PPR, Curtis Samuel or Hollywood Brown? If I'm gonna roll the dice, I'm gonna roll the dice with Hollywood Brown. Like the Curtis Samuel room for error is like,
dude. I keep burying Curtis Samuel in my rankings.
I know, and every week he has that one catch
for a touchdown.
Legit, that one catch. So
sort of rushing touchdown.
So wait a minute. I just want to see this here. Did I see James Robinson as a healthy scratch? Is that what's happening?
Yeah, I told you that.
I didn't realize it was a healthy scratch.
Oh, that's what I figured it was.
I thought there was something wrong with him.
No.
Wow. All right, just to catch everybody out too, officially out Justin Fields, Jamar Chase, Raheem Mostert, James Robinson, in Gus Edwards, DeMarcus Robinson, Terrace Marshall, Devin Duvernay, and Caleb Huntley. There you go, folks. There's a little update for you. Let's get to the next question here. Decarius Hoxie, pick 2. T. Higgins, Chris Godwin, DK, Keenan Allen. Help.
Higgins and DK.
Johnny Salinas, flex Brandon Cooks or Zay Jones in full PPR.
I would play Zay Jones.
Agreed.
He's got a way higher floor.
Agreed. And then Gio Gill, pick 2, full PPR, Miles Sanders, P. Ryan, and the Muth.
Go with Sanders and the Muth.
Sanders and the Muth. That's a good show. I think that was on in the 70s. That was a good show, Sanders and the Muth. It's like 3 seasons, I think, on CBS they had. It was a different time.
Clearly.
By the way, stick around because after we're out of here, Tera Roberts is going to join you for the next hour, take you through all the way up to kickoff. to answer your questions. If you haven't already, subscribe to the YouTube channel so you can ask your questions, so you can make your comment and be part of the Fantasy Pros experience here, which is pretty awesome. And if you do that, leave a comment in the chat or a question, and you click the little bell and you like the stream. You do all the things you're supposed to do this Sunday before you watch your football. You could win a T. Higgins autographed jersey thanks to our good pals at pristineauction.com. Also, Pristine Auction, a great place to look for those Christmas presents, those Hanukkah presents, all the presents this time of year. Some cool stuff over there as well. Let's get to Long Dolina family. Confirm Patterson over Pickens in non-PPR. Not for me. I'm not confirming that. I want Pickens. How about you?
Pickens.
Yep. Nathan Burns. Good morning, Joe and Erickson. Sitting at 8-3 in full PPR thanks to Fantasy Pros and my playbook. Bingo bango, Nathan. Let's go. Chase is out. Ugly, but pick one. Jones, Moreau, or Hunt? I assume he means
Which
Marvin Jones, hence the ugly.
I play Moreau.
Always be specific with your Joneses, your Moores, your Johnsons. Always be specific with those. And your Robinsons on most days, too. Anyone I'm forgetting, too? You got to be more specific, Andrew?
I don't think so.
The Johnsons?
Moores is the one that kills us.
The Moores. This week was easier because Rondell was out. So it was a little easier. And Elijah Moore became nothing. But for the first 3 weeks of the season, it was very, very upsetting. Let's go to the next one here. Skittles 0016. Patterson or Christian Watson?
Go with
I want Watson here.
Watson.
Fast. Hey guys, I need your help. Standard league, David Montgomery or Cordero Patterson, 1 point PPR, Drake or Gus Edwards.
Go with Montgomery, and then I'll go with Gus Edwards. I don't know what the Ravens are going to do. No idea.
Just put him in a hat and pick one. I'll take Gus Edwards for the touchdown equity.
Pretty much wrong about Kenyon Drake every single time I try to figure out what he's going to do. So
I think what we got to do is say to ourselves, who has the most touchdown equity? And it's got to be Edwards over Drake, right? In theory?
Yes, in theory. I would agree with that.
I mean, at this point, we're all just, I don't know, man.
I mean, they're all horrible running. I mean, they're all just the Ravens' offense is just a mess. So, whatever. I think Gus Edwards is probably my highest ranked Ravens running back.
Mr. Filthy Wubs, Olave or Lazard in PPR?
Olave.
Tim Baldwin, full PPR, Gibson or Rashad White? White. Christopher Demas, also full PPR, DPJ or Rashad White?
White.
Coulter Smith. Hey guys, love the channel. You guys have helped me win matchups. Who do I flex in standard? Boyd, Collins, Burks, or Foreman? I always lean the running back.
Foreman.
Yeah, Foreman. So there you have it. So I want to thank Troy for running a fantastic stream as he always does every single day here. I want to thank all of you for joining us. If you haven't already, make sure you like the stream before we change over. Click that little like button. If you need to know what it looks like the opposite of what Aaron Rodgers can do with his thumb. It's like this. So it's positive. Aaron Rodgers is able to do this. We don't want you to do that. We want you to pick the positive one. Okay. By the way, one more here. Altuve's trash can. I got to read this one because it's a great name. Play Tom Brady or pick up Ryan or Heineke. I'm playing Brady.
Tom Brady.
There you go. Look at that. Dabbing on the way out. All right, that'll do it for Erickson and myself, but the story of the game goes on. Stick around for more football with Tera Roberts right here on Fantasy Pros. We'll be right back right after this. See ya.
What's up, everyone? I hope you are having awesome mornings. We will get started here. I'm Tera Roberts. I'm taking your questions here for the next hour. I'm looking forward to all of your fantastic questions because it's a crazy week. Lots of interesting low-end running backs that have popped up to massive prominence. But before I dive into the question, I did want to remind you guys that we do have a giveaway going on. If you want a chance to win a signed T. Higgins Cincinnati Bengals jersey, courtesy of our friends at Pristine Auction, you need to subscribe to the Fantasy Pros YouTube channel right now. Comment below on this video, and that's it. This is your last chance to enter because I will be announcing the winner within the next hour right here on the YouTube channel. So stick around to see if you've won and comment so that you can get entered. All right, now that we've got that out of the way, I would love a T. Higgins jersey, obviously. Let's go ahead and dive right in with Justin Allen. Lost cup for the season. Oh, so sorry about that. Yes, lost cup. Full PPR. Flex, Pacheco, Edwards, or Pittman, or So, okay, let's see. So I think we got, and then at wide receiver, Pittman or Palmer. So for the flex, assuming you want Pacheco or Gus Edwards, I'm more comfortable going with Isaiah Pacheco this week. I don't mind the matchup for him. And then on top of that, again, we've got CEH that's out. He should continue to see good volume on the ground and all that we need from him. We just need him to get that touchdown. And I think this is a game where that he can do it. So I lean towards him as the safer option, the known workload for him over Gus Edwards, who is still a little bit of a mystery in terms of what he's going to come back to. Is he going to split with Kenyon Drake? Is he going to play a full snap count? Are they going to limit him a little bit and try to ease him back in? We don't know. So just go with the safer option with Pacheco. And then at wide receiver, Pittman or Palmer. That one is ridiculously close for me. I lean towards going with Pittman, but it's super close. I like both of them. The upside is there for both of them, honestly. I just lean a little bit towards Pittman. Honestly, on this one, I've been going back and forth all morning, changing rankings, just like it's like a toss and turn situation, but I'm ending up with Pittman right now. Next question from Dats Canny. Good morning, Tera. Good morning, Dats. Half PPR flex, Chris Godwin or George Pickens. So we've got the weather concern there with the Tampa Bay Cleveland game. So I can understand why we're a little bit on the fence. I'm getting a lot of Chris Godwin this morning because everyone's on the fence. So are we starting Chris Godwin? Are we starting Mike Evans? I'm still comfortable with starting Chris Godwin. The weather is not as aggressive as they thought it was going to be. So at least we do have that positive. And then if we're thinking about the weather and if, winds pick up and maybe the deep ball gets a little bit shaky, it's not really going to affect Evan or Godwin as much as it's going to affect Evans. So if we have trouble getting the ball down the field to Evans, we can see an uptake for Godwin. So I lean towards going with Godwin because I think that he's not going to be aggressively affected in this game. Next question from Rambolino, full PPR, Latavius Murray or Michael Pittman. We're getting lots of Latavius Murray since he is the last man standing in Denver. And I honestly think he has a very safe floor. So really, if you need a safe option, you could go with Latavius Murray. But I lean towards going with Michael Pittman again. Not the most ideal matchup in the world. Since the Steelers have improved a little bit since they've got the return of Watt. But they're still vulnerable against the pass. And so I still expect Matt Ryan to have a decent enough day to where I can feel comfortable with Michael Pittman. Next question from Nick Moore. Good morning. Full PPR, Flex, Pirine, Pacheco, Donovan Peoples-Jones, Traylon Burks, Christian Watson. Thanks for the sage advice. You're welcome. Hopefully it's very sage. Oh man, one between all of those guys. You want to go with like the massive upside of Christian Watson, wondering can he do it again? So if you need a massive upside play, obviously that's him. But I do like Pirine this week. It's not a good matchup on the ground. Like we gotta be very clear with that. It's not a good matchup on the ground. But in PPR, he is a pass-catching back. Joe Burrow showed a lot of favoritism towards him last week. The 3 receiving touchdowns, insanity. I wouldn't expect 3 again, but more is it's very reasonable for him to get 1 more this week. So I lean towards going in full PPR with Pirine. I do like a lot of those other options. Next question from Kyle Miller. Rank them. All right, got a rank them question. Keenan Allen, DeAndre Hopkins, Jeff Wilson. Sorry. Got Garrett Wilson on my mind. Jeff Wilson, Pittman, Najee, Ayuk, and Rachaad White. That is a big list. We're going to put Hopkins right up there at the top. We love DeAndre Hopkins. And then we're going to pivot to running back with Jeff Wilson. This is a fantastic... Jeff Wilson has literal top 5 upside this week. Easy top 10. I think top 10 is very well within his reach. And top 5 is a big possibility here. We've got no Raheem Mostert. We've got a fantastic matchup against a defense that cannot stop the run, period. So you got to go with Jeff Wilson. Then after that, we will shoot back up to Keenan Allen, who had a good return last week. Liked what we saw. Continue to get more involved in this offense. I like both him and Michael Palmer this week. Then we'll jump over to running back again with Rachaad White. Again, I like Rachaad White and kind of coming in before some of these other guys because, again, we've got this matchup where they might have to lean a little bit heavier on the ground. Fantastic for White. I think he should see a solid 20-plus carries on the ground. We know exactly how much volume that Tampa Bay wants to get on the ground. So we know the bare minimum here. This is not a situation where they're going to run the ball 10 times. It's just not going to happen. And we're hoping that we can get a little bit of pass catching upside with him as well, because he was getting it before. Weird week last week, didn't have a lot of upside through the air, but hopefully that comes back here with some dump offs. So I think that's the direction you want to go next. And then between Pittman, Najee, and Ayuk, it's that order for me. Pittman, solid option. Najee, no Jalen Warren. And then Ayuk, I love him. Obviously, touchdown upside is strong, but there's a lot of mouths to feed in that offense, so he is the riskiest option. Next question from Justin. Joe, that was fun. A random combination there of running backs and wide receivers to rank. And a good group. All right, Justin and Jonas, next question. Rachaad White or Josh Palmer in PPR? I lean towards going with Rachaad White. I do like Josh Palmer this week. Obviously, this could be, Palmer has been incredibly solid, even in the return of, Keenan Allen last week. He's been a good volume guy. He does have a little bit tougher of a matchup. Sometimes, Arizona can be a little bit stingier against wide receivers, particularly ones that are going downfield, which Palmer does have the capability of doing. So I lean towards going with Rachaad White as the much safer option, even in PPR. Next question from Skilly. Greetings, Tera. Full PPR. Christian Kirk, Amari Cooper, or should I bench James Conner in the flex and play both of them? Oh man, you hate to bench James Conner because let's approach this from the standpoint of where your team stands, because you hate to bench James Conner because while I don't think he has the upside that Christian Kirk and Amari Cooper, definitely not Amari Cooper, does not have the upside of those guys, he does have an incredibly safe floor. He is the running back. He is in a fantastic matchup. He should thrive. So I don't see any, scenario where James Conner is a risk to not get double-digit fantasy points. I see him as an easy, 15. Not the super amount of upside because, again, they want to throw the ball. Kyler Murray wants to get that ball to DeAndre Hopkins and Marquise Brown returning. So we've got that going on, but this is a good matchup. So if you need a safe floor option, I would lean towards going with Christian Kirk and James Conner. But if you're in a situation with your team that you don't have the option of playing it safe, you need to guarantee a win. You need to swing for the fences and win big. Maybe you need to increase your point totals to increase your odds of getting in as well. So go with Amari Cooper and Christian Kirk if you need the high upside plays. Otherwise, if you need to just keep it steady, Christian Kirk and James Conner. Next question from Corey Payne, half PPR, need a flex, Gus Edwards or George Pickens? I'm going with George Pickens. I like George Pickens this week. Gus Edwards, again, he makes me a little bit nervous. I think I talked about it a little bit earlier, but I also feel like I've been talking about it all day. So it's live on the FantasyPros Instagram channel earlier today. Lots of Gus Edwards questions. And the problem with Gus Edwards and why I feel a little bit uncomfortable is that we don't have any kind of clarity exactly what kind of role he is coming back into. We've seen Kenyon Drake, last week he was not successful at all, but we've seen him be successful in the past. He's a pass catching back, and Gus Edwards doesn't have that capability, unfortunately. He has the capability, he's just not utilized in the pass game. So it's tough to say, even in half PPR, exactly what kind of workload we're coming back to. What we would need from him is kind of like that first time where he came back to multiple touchdowns. Is that going to happen again? I don't feel comfortable with it. So I kind of lean towards, staying away from Gus Edwards if I can, because we've got so many running backs. Surely, with the wide variety of running backs that have increased in prominence this week, you guys have a lot of options that you can go with. So I lean away from Gus Edwards. So let's go with George Pickens on that one. Question from Mark Willis. Good morning. Need help for a playoff run, full PPR, Hollywood Brown or Christian Watson? I would go ahead and go with Christian Watson. It's possible that Hollywood I'm not full on avoiding Hollywood this week, so you won't get a full, no around Hollywood Brown for me this week. It's very situational in who you have to play over him for me. And Christian Watson is a guy that I'm willing to play over him, especially for someone that is looking to make a playoff run. The possibility of Hollywood coming in and getting, a 50% snap count, being a little limited, not seeing a ton of work, this being more of a DeAndre Hopkins game, and Christian Watson being a guy who has massive upside. Let's say we get to that Philadelphia game tonight and all the focus is on Allen Lazard, because technically speaking, remember, he is the wide receiver 1, and that's the reason why we saw him succeed. We saw Watson, succeed in the prior game, was because, again, Lazard was locked down. So if Lazard gets locked down again and we see Christian Watson go off, you want that upside there. So I lean towards going with Christian Watson. All right. The only situation that would maybe change that up a little bit would maybe be if Greg Dortch didn't play, but we don't know that, unfortunately, right now. Next question from Kevin Murray, full PPR, start 3 of 4. Keenan Allen, Amari Cooper, Rachaad White, Nick Chubb. So Nick Chubb, got a couple of questions around him. Maybe being somebody that, when we consider the matchup, it is a difficult matchup for him. And people get a little bit worried, especially when you've got all these other guys who are lower end options, but in far superior matchups. I still go with Nick Chubb. I hate to pivot away from Nick Chubb, so I'm starting him for sure. Again, I like Rachaad White this week. When I'm looking at Keenan Allen, Amari Cooper, Rachaad White, it's tough to play Rachaad White with those guys. You want to go with Keenan Allen. And Amari Cooper, man, I feel like this is another game where he could go off when you're, looking at that situation. They're probably going to have to be playing from behind, trying to play catch up, obviously. And so it gets tough to not play Amari Cooper. So if you need a high upside play, I would go with Amari Cooper over Rachaad White. If you need the safer option, go with Rachaad White. And then Keenan Allen and Nick Chubb for sure. Next question from Shannon Blackburn. Gabe hurt my team bad this week. Oh, need a running back in flex, PPR, Damian Pierce, Jeff Wilson, Josh Palmer, Garrett Wilson, Cortland Sutton, and Donovan Peoples-Jones. Well, the good news is you can for sure get some good points out of Jeff Wilson. Feeling very positive about him this week. Obviously, we talked about him earlier being a guy that has top 5 upside this week. So him in your running back position for sure. And then, PPR. So we want to stay away from Damian Pierce, despite the fact that I do like this matchup for Damian Pierce, but in PPR I get a little bit wary. Sorry, had some notifications coming through and saw Trevor Siemian. Piqued my interest a little bit. It's been crazy. Trevor Siemian updates piquing our interest, the times that we are in right now. All right. So, Damian Pierce, I'm nixing him out. And then, you're looking at probably whether or not you want to play Josh Palmer or Cortland Sutton. I lean towards going with Josh Palmer as a guy that has more upside than Cortland Sutton. Again, it is a good matchup. This should be a good matchup for Denver, for Russ, for Cortland Sutton. But unfortunately, I just can't trust the situation the way that I feel like I can trust Josh Palmer. So I lean towards going with Jeff Wilson as your running back and Josh Palmer as your flex option. Next question from Don Girardi. Good afternoon. Sorry, got kids playing outside over here. All right, good afternoon. Pick 2 for me, please. Josh Palmer, Samaje Perine, and Michael Pittman. Thank you for your time. You're welcome very much. I'm not sure if it's PPR. I'm assuming they're all fantastic options in PPR, but I feel like we do want to go with the upside of Samaje Perine. And then again, I'm going to lean towards Josh Palmer Pittman. All of those, Palmer, Pittman, Perine. Lean towards Pittman as the higher upside play. So we're going to go with Pittman and Perine. It's tough to sit Palmer, though. He's been so fantastic. It's so tough, so tough. And the only thing I'm going to say is that, again, the matchup with him being the deeper threat might be a little bit riskier for him in particular. That's the only reason that I might pivot off a tiny bit from him. Next question from Sweet Eureka. Worried about Debo not playing to his full expectations this week. Should I sub Pickens in for my flex spot? No, I would still keep Debo. When I look at George Pickens, obviously there is, fantastic upside there. But similar to Debo, there's upside and then there's a shaky floor. So I don't think they're too different in terms of the outcomes, given the situation with Debo. So I still lean towards going with Debo as someone who I feel a little bit more comfortable with, just based off of pure positioning and pure talent and pure quarterback situation, obviously, as well. Jimmy Garoppolo, superior to Kenny Pickett. All right. Next question from Brett Thunderstruck. Half PPR, starting Rachaad White already, and I'm a big underdog this week. Need 2 between Mike Evans, Chris Olave, George Pickens, and Christian Watson. Oh, okay. So I get what you're saying there. Normally you feel like you want to go with Mike Evans, but you're starting Rashad White, which is a good thing, obviously. And do you want to tie all your points up into one game, especially one game with weather concerns? Yeah, I'm with you on that one. I might have to, given your situation, I might have to pivot away from Evans. And then you're looking at Olave, Pickens, and Watson. I lean towards going with Olave. I like the matchup for Olave, and this could be hopefully another high upside game for him. So I would go with Olave at that grouping. Next question from Ashton Vadila. Ashton Vadila. Good morning. Full PPR. Choose my flex. Hollywood, Christian Watson, DJ, or Higbee. Oh man, DJ Moore. DJ any other week, any other matchup. I'd be, kind of in on playing him with the return of Sam Darnold because he was pretty good with Sam Darnold last year in the beginning portion of the season. And even when things went slightly off the rail, the targets were still there, which is what we like to see for DJ Moore. But unfortunately, I get so concerned that we're going to have him just locked down by Patrick Surtain. So I lean away from DJ Moore. And honestly, you might want to go with Christian Watson of this grouping. Hollywood is someone who, obviously, when he's at full health, if he's good to go, you would want to play him over Christian Watson. But we don't have a ton of clarity right now on exactly what his role will be today. That's the only thing that makes me worry about playing Hollywood when you've got a guy like Christian Watson who has been absolutely on fire. So go with the guy that's been on fire and give Hollywood one more week just so we can make sure that he is actually coming back to a full workload. Now, granted, you do have the option, because the Packers are the Sunday night game, you do have the option of waiting it out to see if there's any news. So for right now, plug in Christian Watson and wait it out and hear if any news. Like if we get any news saying that Hollywood Brown, full workload, good to go, fantastic, and then maybe like a Greg Dortch out, that would, help out a little bit, as crazy as it sounds. That would be the only situation where I would then switch and go with Hollywood Brown over Christian Watson. Next question from Andre Vaughn. Good morning. Hope you had a wonderful Thanksgiving. Hope you had a wonderful Thanksgiving too. Thank you so much. All right, we need 1 PPR: Sutton, Pittman, Watson, Pickens, those are, and then the DST question: Denver or the Ravens. I'll knock out the Denver Ravens question. I'm still going with Denver as my DST, and then with Sutton, Pittman, Watson, and Pickens, I'm going to go with Pittman again. It's super, super close for me between whether I'm going with Pittman and the upside of somebody like Watson, but I lean towards Pittman, who has a decent enough ceiling and a very solid floor. Next question from that one guy 0. Tua or Hurts at quarterback this week? I'm going with Hurts this week. I don't dislike Tua this week, but again, we look at that matchup with Houston. I mean, it's just set up for it to be an aggressive ground game. You hate to say that when you've got Tua and all those weapons. So I'm not fearful of Tua, and I'm not fearful of Tyreek Hill and Waddle. But I think the upside is a little bit higher with Hurts because we've got this situation where Houston has typically been strong against the pass. And if they get out there and they're able to get up against Houston fairly early, this shouldn't be a very competitive game. I don't know. We might not see a massive game from Tua that we've been seeing. So I lean towards going with Jalen Hurts at quarterback. Next question from Jay on Jay. I think it's like Jay on a Kenobi or something, Kenobi like that. I get it. It's like a Star Wars reference kind of thing, but my mind can't read it right now. Please help. Seattle or Baltimore at defense. I still lean towards going with Baltimore. I understand why Seattle might be a little bit appealing, but at the end of the day, Devontae Adams, Derek Carr being shaky or not, Josh McDaniels play calling being questionable at best. At the end of the day, we still have a good situation. Sorry, guys. I think my laptop is. I gotta find my charger. At the end of the day, we've still got a good situation there where Davante Adams can absolutely go off and demolish a defense. So we get a little bit fearful of what could happen to that Seattle defense. So I lean towards going with Baltimore against Jacksonville. Next question from Antonio Garcia. Hello, need two. Ayuk, Garrett Wilson, Devonta Smith, Terry McLaurin, or George Pickens. Please help. I'm for sure going with Terry McLaurin. I mean, he's been fantastic even in bad matchups where he's had guys that could just lock him down. So I'm not really fearful of this matchup with him and AJ Terrell in Atlanta. So I'm still going with Terry McLaurin. And then between Ayuk, Garrett Wilson, and Devonta Smith, I lean towards going with Devonta Smith. I know that we have had inconsistency and low floors from Devonta Smith. But when I look at this matchup with Green Bay, what my hope here is for Devonta Smith is that the attention gets put on, because Green Bay, as shaky as they've been as a whole, they do have guys on defense that can lock down receivers. And if that lockdown happens on AJ Brown, it will open up the door for Devonta Smith. So I kind of like Devonta Smith this week as a guy who has a decent opportunity to have a high upside play. So go with Terry McLaurin and Devonta Smith. Next question from Daniel C. Need help on flex, full PPR, Pickens, Pirine, Campbell, Demarcus Robinson, and then Alan Lazard. Kind of going on that same string. I get mildly concerned about Alan Lazard in that matchup. I would just go ahead and go with Samaje Perine. I know you might be leaning towards going with those receivers, and they're all fantastic options. They have decent floors. I think last week what we saw from Campbell was a floor game. But again, despite the matchup being a little bit shaky, I like Samaje Perine in full PPR in this matchup to maybe again have a very solid involvement in the pass game. We have no Jamar Chase, so if we see kind of a similar repeat to last week, I like the upside that he has, so I'm in on Pirine of that grouping. Next question from Cesar Navarez. Good afternoon, Tara. Great call last week on Dak over Cousins. Thank you. Need a tight end, Moreau or Juwan Johnson? Foster Moreau, I guess it's Morrow, but I like saying Moreau. It sounds more fun and fancy. Foster Moreau, he doesn't have a ton of upside. All the attention, obviously, to Davante Adams. Josh Jacobs, he was expected to play, has obviously thrived on the ground, and it just leaves Morrow as kind of a safe option, but not something that is a very high upside play. But I still kind of want to go with the safety of him. Juwan Johnson obviously is coming through very strong with the touchdowns, but there's not a ton of volume there. I don't dislike Juwan Johnson this week, but I lean towards going with Foster Moreau over Juwan Johnson, just because he's just so much safer. Next question from Pat Rick. I have ETN, Rashad White, and Aaron Jones. Which two do I play today? Oh, man. This one is tough. I'm not going to sit Aaron Jones because the upside is massive. I understand why people are a little bit concerned about him given the matchup. And obviously, there are a ton of lower end guys like Rashad White that are in better matchups, better situations. I still want to play Aaron Jones because it's Aaron Jones, the pass catching upside. There's, he can run on strong defenses, and Philadelphia has been a little bit vulnerable. And I like Travis Etienne. So we go with Travis Etienne and Aaron Jones. I like this as a nice bounce back game for Travis Etienne. We're not going to see Darrell Henderson in this game. I don't think there's a big threat to his workload. And I think it's a good opportunity for him to have a good bounce back game. Next question from Jay Porter, full PPR. Aaron Jones, Rashad White, or Michael Carter? Oh, man. So we've got the same situation, but we're now subbing. Oh, wait, hold on. I skipped one. I'll go back to your question, Heather. But doing this one is tough because we've got a very similar situation, but we're subbing out Michael Carter instead of Travis Etienne. So I'm still going with Aaron Jones. And then the debate is, am I going with Rashad White or Michael Carter? That one is super close for me. I am going to go with Rashad White because they're both in fantastic matchups, but looking at the overall situation as a whole, I think we could have a strong emphasis on the ground game. And I just feel safer with the better offense of Tampa Bay, that they're going to be able to move the ball better, more goal line opportunities for Rashad White. But Michael Carter, man, that one is tough to sit. It's tough to sit. We have James Robinson who is not going to play. Like, this is the Michael Carter show. And we've got Mike. And if it was like Zach Wilson at quarterback, we'd be like, does that really matter? No, not really. But it's not Zach Wilson. We have Mike White at quarterback. And Mike White had a wonderful habit last year of throwing lots of checkdowns to his running backs, Michael Carter. So it's tough to pivot away from Michael Carter, but I still lean towards going with Aaron Jones and Rachaad White. That's so tough, though. Love Michael Carter this week. Next question from, let me go back up, from Heather Mendez. Good morning. With Fields out, do I pick up Brady, Carr, Brissett, or Garoppolo? Also, do I stay away from Montgomery now and put DPJ in flex? Okay, so we'll do the quarterback question first with Brady, Carr, Brissett, and Garoppolo. I want to say Brady of that grouping. I like Brady the most. We do have the weather concerns there. It's not as bad as we thought it was going to be. So this is not a full fade situation, but I do get a little bit concerned that upside might be a bit limited with Tom Brady. And looking at, who's probably going to have the higher upside of that grouping, I feel like you just want to go with Derek Carr. Now, the safest option is going to be Jimmy Garoppolo, and he is coming off a fantastic game. So we could see another Jimmy Garoppolo repeat. Obviously, the Saints defense has really been struggling with injuries. They are beaten up horribly. And I don't think we have 100% confirmation on some of their defensive guys yet, but they're just so banged up right now. So it's not a bad play. The safe option is definitely Garoppolo, but I think the higher upside option is going to be Derek Carr. I don't see any way that Vegas's defense is able to stop the combination of Geno Smith, top 10 quarterback, and Kenneth Walker as well. So this might be a game where they have to chase points to keep up with Seattle, as crazy as that sounds. And if they chase points and Derek Carr is tossing the ball all around the world to Devontae Adams, who I also like very much, I'm okay with the upside for Carr. So if you need an upside play, go with Carr. If you need a floor play, go with Garoppolo. Let me see if I can find my charger and plug in. Yes, I can. It's right there. Yay. So we're not going to lose me. I am going to be fine and charged with my computer. Okay, perfect. All right. Next question from Jay Porter. PPR. Full PPR. Aaron Jones or we did that one. All right. Next question from Monica Herrera. All right. Both my tight end rankings are close. Both my tight ends rankings are close in rankings this week. Need some help. PPR. Cole Kmet or David Njoku. Oh, I'm grateful for you and all at FantasyPros. Thank you very much, Monica. We appreciate you too. This one is super tough. And it's hard to delineate because we've had, a lot of touchdown equity from Cole Kmet. But given the fact that we don't have Justin Fields this week, I don't know if we can trust Trevor Siemian because we don't 100% know. There hasn't been a high target share for Kmet. And this is a bad matchup with the Jets. They're probably going to aggressively lean on the ground game. And it's risky. But when I look at David Njoku again, he was a limited practice all week. I get fearful that we're going to get his snap count last week was around like 30 to 40%. And I get fearful that we're going to get another situation again where he's in a less than 50% snap count. The opportunities are going to be limited. So despite the fact that Kmet isn't in a fantastic situation, I think you have to go with Kmet because of just the likelihood that Njoku is going to be limited again. There was no improvement for him. So I get worried that we're in a similar situation. And I want to go with the guy who is actually going to be on the field. And I realized that I missed the second part of Heather's question. So I'm going to go back to it because I got reminded with David Montgomery. So do I stray away from David Montgomery now and put Donovan Peoples-Jones in flex? No, I would stick it out with David Montgomery. Again, it's not the best situation in the world that Justin Fields is not going to be playing, but they're going to have to push volume on the ground. They're not going to try and attack aggressively through the air. They haven't done it all season. I don't see them changing that theory now. And again, we have David Montgomery. He's the guy in the backfield. So based off pure volume, you still need to stick it out with David Montgomery. I don't think the floor between David Montgomery and Donovan Peoples-Jones is going to be that different. Because again, remember, Donovan Peoples-Jones does have the weather concern there. All right, next question from Great Scott. Guidance would be helpful, but I need to put one of the following in wide receiver 2 and another in flex, which would you put in each position? Christian Kirk, Chris Olave, Najee Harris, and Christian Watson. That is a fantastic grouping that is super, super close. I do really like Christian Kirk this week. And when Christian Kirk has been, on and in decent at least decent matchups, he's been a top 10 option. So I feel like I don't want to stray away from Christian Kirk. He's not the flashiest option in the world, but the Ravens defense has been a little shaky against the pass, So I don't feel like this is a situation where he's going to be locked down and shut down. So I feel most comfortable going with Christian Watson, who has been very proven, very steady in that grouping. So that would be my wide receiver 2. Then if I'm looking at my flex position, obviously the upside for Najee is pretty strong with Jalen Warren out. But again, I still like Chris Olave. The matchup, not the best in the world. But I don't have a lot of faith that they're going to be in a very competitive game. And if that's the case, then they're going to have to throw the ball. And again, benefits to Olave. So despite the matchup being a little bit questionable, I still lean towards going with Olave. So I'm going to go with Christian Kirk and Olave. Next question from Henry Woods. Need help at flex. Pirine, Olave, Michael Carter. All the Michael Carters in the world. So we're only looking for one guy is one option of this grouping, and it is half PPR. With it being half PPR, honestly, it kind of makes things pretty much even around for all of these guys because all of these guys are guys that benefit more in PPR. Obviously, the pass catching upside for Pirine, the pass catching upside for Michael Carter, and then obviously Chris Olave. So I think, whether, full PPR, half PPR, it kind of nixes out and it doesn't really matter with these guys. I'm kind of lean towards going with the upside of Michael Carter. Again, with Pirine, I like it, but again, it's a tough matchup on the ground. So it's a bad situation. And then with Carter, we've got the upside that he has from the pass catching ability of the addition of Mike White. But then we've also got a good matchup for him on the ground. This is a good matchup for Michael Carter on the ground. So if I'm looking at these guys that all have pass catching upside, I want to go with the one in the good matchup, and that's Michael Carter. So we're going with Michael Carter of that grouping. Next question from my squad. Hello, need a win. Pick one, full PPR, Donovan Peoples-Jones, Christian Kirk, Mike Evans. And who is flex? It's an easy one for me. It's Christian Kirk. The same reason that I was talking about before. He's a top 10 option for me. Next question from Julian Williams. Half PPR to help keep me in playoff contention. Flex, Cortland Sutton, or Garrett Wilson. Okay, so you're in playoff contention, which means that you really don't want to lay an egg here. And while I like Garrett Wilson as a high upside play, it's a very big possibility that he could lay an egg. So I, go with Cortland Sutton here. It's obviously not the most appealing option in the world, unfortunately, since Russ really isn't holding it down right now. But Jerry Jeudy is out, so we get at least a decent floor option from Cortland Sutton in a good matchup. So cross our fingers that Russ can pull something together and, get us a good upside play from Sutton. But I think the floor is very safe for you. So go with Cortland Sutton. Next question from Douglas Lancey. Full PPR, pick two. Hollywood, Deontay Johnson, Zay Jones, and Gus Edwards. This is an interesting question because this is a situation. You've hit me with one where I would go with Hollywood Brown. I like this because finally, I have not gotten to say Hollywood Brown, yes, on this live yet, so I'm saying it here. When I look at that grouping and the potential upside of these guys, none of them have a lot of upside, unfortunately. We've seen Deontay Johnson. The upside just doesn't exist for Deontay Johnson anymore. He plays off of pure volume. The volume isn't there, unfortunately. So I lean towards going with so I got a visit from my kid. So I lean towards going with Hollywood Brown over Deontay Johnson. And then I, feel a little bit less comfortable with Gus Edwards. Again, we talked about the fact that Gus Edwards, unfortunately, we don't know, we don't have a full defined amount of workload for him. And while I like Zay Jones, the upside just isn't there the way that it is for Hollywood Brown. So Hollywood Brown is the guy that I'm going with for sure. And then the second option is going to be, I think you got to go with Zay Jones. Zay Jones. Again, we lack upside with all of these guys. So you want to look at the one who is going to get the most volume. Again, I said the volume isn't there for Deontay Johnson. The volume has been there in general for Zay Jones in good matchups. And this is a matchup where there can still be a high volume play. So Hollywood Brown is your for sure guy that you're going with. And then the next option is going to be Zay Jones. Next question from Troy Romero. Love the work. Thank you. Have tight end problems? Gerald Everett, Juwan Johnson, or Foster Moreau? Please help out full PPR. Full PPR at least makes it a little bit more comfortable for us to feel better with Everett and Foster Moreau. I lean towards going with Foster Moreau. I like Gerald Everett, but again, we don't have, unfortunately, we haven't seen him in this combination of Keenan Allen being back, unfortunately. So, because he was not out, he was not playing last week, so we didn't get to see that. So, unfortunately, I lean towards going away from Gerald Everett. I want to see Gerald Everett and how he integrates with Keenan Allen, and I think that the safest option is for you to go with Foster Moreau. Like Juwan Johnson, again, touchdown equity and all, but I think the safety just really lies with Moreau. Next question from G Money. AJ Brown, Waddle, or Kamara, flex, full PPR. This one is an interesting one. This is an interesting one because, again, we've got AJ Brown in that situation I talked about earlier with why I am a little bit in on Devonta Smith this week. Because we could get a situation where AJ Brown is locked down. Now, granted, there's no locking down AJ Brown. Technically, he is AJ Brown, but he could be a bit, limited in opportunities in this game, unfortunately. So you get a little bit concerned that it won't be there for him. Then we've got Jalen Waddle in that situation that we talked about earlier, and then we've got Alvin Kamara in a bad matchup. I would go ahead and risk it with AJ Brown, and hopefully he can overcome, that tougher secondary of Green Bay. Just because I'm not super comfortable with Kamara, and then Jalen Waddle, we talked about how there just might be a little lacking of upside of Miami tax on the ground primarily. Next question from Mr. Andy. Please help. I don't know who to start in flex. I am between Paris Campbell, Samaje Perine, Michael Carter, and Demarcus Robinson. You know what? You got to go. Let's go ahead. Yeah, because you're saying, it's a tough matchup for Perine against the Titans. Yeah, it's unfortunate that his one opportunity came against literally a terrible matchup for running backs. It's Michael Carter for me. I talked about it earlier. Pass catching upside with Mike White in. Good matchup on the ground. So it's a wonderful combination, especially in PPR leagues. So I lean towards going with Michael Carter over all those guys. Next question from Ricardo Worrell. PPR, start or sit Palmer, D. Johnson, Deontay Johnson, and then Christian Watson. Again, on this one, I lean towards starting Palmer. When we get this, we're dealing a lot of combinations of Josh Palmer and Christian Watson. And it's so tough with those guys because they both have high upside plays, but obviously Watson has been on an absolute tear. So it's so tough. It's tough to sit him. If you need a super high upside play, you can go with Watson. But I just like the combination of safety and floor and some upside opportunity for Palmer. So for me, it's Palmer. You can't really go wrong with starting Watson, but I lean towards Palmer. I lean far away from Deontay Johnson, unfortunately. Question from Extreme Idiots. Hope you had a great Thanksgiving. Thank you. I did. I cooked, which is surprising because I'm not a massive cook, but I wanted to make a nice Thanksgiving meal for my kids. So I did that. I hope you had a fantastic Thanksgiving as well. Looking to fill up my flex spot, Watson or Rachaad White. Again, you hate to say no to Christian Watson, but again, I'm going to say no. Rachaad White. I feel like it's gonna obviously be a Christian Watson game, but now that we're having to say all of these no's to Christian Watson, but if you get a Rachaad White game that is a very solid, I think I might be talked about him a little bit before earlier in the live. With Rachaad White, we've got this combination where he's going to get a solid 20 carries on the ground because Tampa Bay has been very consistent in terms of the workload on the ground. when it's a good matchup, and it is a good matchup. So this is not a situation where we're going to see them revert and say, you know what, only 10 carries for Rachaad White. We're not going to see that. This is a good 20 plus carry situation for Rachaad White. A little pass catching upside opportunity as well, with the weather being a little bit questionable. So I hate to say no to Christian Watson, but I just feel a good solid 20 points from Rachaad White in my bones. And it's just a much safer option. So go with Rachaad White. Next question from AC. Thanks, Tera. Great content. Thank you. Thank you for tuning in. I'm in a tough spot this week with some late injuries. Oh, no. And no Fields to go off with 40 points. Yeah, I feel you on that one. I went ahead. I Justin Fields in one leg, and I had to go ahead and pull him out early because I had to start Dak instead, because I had no confidence that Fields was going to play, unfortunately. So, yeah, I hate it for you. Everyone with Fields, we're in for a rough one because it's been so easy for us over the past several weeks. Next question from Tim Donahue. Christian Kirk. Let's see. Christian Kirk, Chris Godwin, or Najee in PPR. It's Christian Kirk for me. We won't dive into it more. I feel like I've talked about him 5,000 times over, and Godwin as well, but it's Christian Kirk for me. Next question for Fred Mann. Good morning. Happy Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving to you. And give the little guy a high five for us. I will. I'm sure he's going to walk in here in like another 5 minutes, probably right as I'm announcing the winner, by the way. So stick around. I'm going to be announcing the winner of the T. Higgins shirt and jersey in just 5 minutes or so. So stick around and I will give him a high five when he comes in, clearly. Next question is Pittman or Lazard in PPR. I would go with Pittman. Again, I think he's a very steady option, and we get a little bit concerned that Lazard is going to see the tougher coverage. So lean towards going with, what was that? Yeah, so lean towards not going with Lazard. Next question from... Next question from Kevin R. David Montgomery or Latavius Murray, PPR. Now, with the Bears on the third string quarterback. Yeah. Go with Latavius Murray. Again, so Montgomery obviously is going to be in a situation where he is going to get the vast majority of work on the ground. So that's good. But again, the Jets can just decide, well, we're just going to lock down the ground game. And while volume is fantastic, I would prefer to go with the volume of Latavius Murray in a good matchup. So you got to go with Latavius Murray on this one. Yeah. That's where we've gotten. We've gotten to the point now where we're like, yeah, we're going with Latavius. Did you think at the beginning of the season that you would be sitting here wondering, are you starting Latavius Murray or David Montgomery? I would not have, I didn't have that one on my bingo card, but yeah, that's what we're doing. Next question from Sean Nelson, full PPR, start Mike Evans or Keenan Allen. We are going with Keenan Allen. Again, the weather doesn't sound like it's going to be absolutely horrendous, but it is going to be a factor. And if it's a factor, it affects Mike Evans the most. Keenan Allen is the one that I would trust a little bit more. Next question from Never Go Full Jeff. Tara, need your help again. Fields is out. Who do I pick up? Taylor Heineke, Derek Carr, Trevor Lawrence. Please help and save me again. Honestly, I would go with Trevor Lawrence. Honestly, I don't mind him in this game. I don't mind all of these options, to be clear. Like Heineke is a deep option for me that I think is solid for a little bounce back game. Derek Carr, it's a matchup where I think he's going to have to lean aggressively on Devontae Adams, and that's always a good thing in terms of the outcome for touchdown opportunities for him. But I like Trevor Lawrence in this matchup. This is one where it's a good matchup. It's at least a good matchup for him. And they should be able to try and, be in a competitive game, but maybe have to chase points a little bit if Lamar has a little bit of a bounce back game here. So I lean towards Trevor Lawrence. That connection with Christian Kirk is going to be good. Maybe some work with Travis Etienne as well. So I'm in on Trevor Lawrence. I'm in on the Jags this week. I'm in on it. Next question from Scott Smith, Carr or Lawrence? Yeah, Lawrence. Next question from Cody Serrano, Burks or Juju in half PPR? I like this question because we finally got, the Treylon Burks breakout game that we so needed. But unfortunately, he's still being limited to a 50% snap count. So while I think that he can continue his breakout performance, the likelihood of him reaching what Juju can, it's a lot harder. So I like going towards Juju as the guy that you want to start. Coming off the, now granted, we've got the concussion situation, but coming off of concussions, it's not typically something that you're going to see a decrease in performance or a need to decrease snap count. So he should be back in full swing in a good matchup. So I lean towards going with Juju. Next question from Ryan Brower. Half PPR, need 2. I'm an underdog. Traylon Burks, Brandon Ayuk, George Pickens. I am okay with going with, let me double check one thing. You're an underdog. Go with Pickens. I think the guy that probably has the highest upside play is George Pickens. The combination of, again, him being that guy and the combination of the touchdown upside that he does have, and they'll find a way to get it to him any way possible, even if it's him having to carry the ball in for a touchdown. He's just such a dynamic athlete. I lean towards going with the upside of George Pickens. Next question, and especially in half PPR too. I think that's kind of where you got to knock out Traylon Burks, is that it's half PPR. Next question from Tark Aravalo. Love the show. Need a flex. Half PPR. Pittman, Higbee, Dylan, and Edwards, and Jarek McKinnon. All interesting options here. For sure it's going to be Pittman for me. Give me 1 second. For sure it's going to be Pittman for me. It's possible that Higbee has a little bit of uptick. We've got Allen Robinson out. Obviously, that's going to, decrease that reliance on the receiving core, and we could finally see Higbee get a little bit of an uptick that we didn't see last week. I don't trust Dylan. I don't trust Edwards. And while I kind of do like McKinnon for a little bit of a bounce back game here with some pass catching upside if Kansas City can jump out early, Pittman is just the far safer option here.